Motherfucker.
Hey folks, I'm hanging out with Arch and Rags and chilling
Hello.
while we're going to talk about things that have happened. I guess the most important thing to talk about is Trump's prospective annexation of Mexico. How do we feel about this?
Trump has
Why would
proposed
you
annexing
want
Mexico.
Mexico?
Hanging out with Arch and Rags and chilling
Hello.
while we're going to talk about... I forgot to pause the stream as it starts playing.
no.
So for anyone who isn't aware, there was a terrible murder of a family from Utah in Mexico by drug cartels. And this is the kind of thing that actually does make ISIS look like perhaps they were slightly more civilized. Where they were shooting like 8-month-old babies and shit like this. It was... I just listened to Tim Pool's video of it and describing the events. It's like, Jesus, that is just the fucking worst. And so Donald Trump takes to Twitter and he says this, right? A wonderful family and friends from Utah got caught between two vicious drug cartels who were shooting each other, with the result being many great American people killed, including young children and some missing. If Mexico needs or requests help in cleaning out these monsters, the United States stands ready, willing, and able to get involved and do the job quickly and effectively. The great new president of Mexico has made this a big issue, but the cartels have become so large and powerful that sometimes you need an army to defeat an army.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes you do need an army to defeat an army.
100%. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what Trump has said there. In fact, I would call what he has said there, and not just what he said, but the way he said it, to be...
Reasonable.
Yeah, surprisingly...
If our allies to the south want our help, we should help them. Yeah, I agree.
We will help them get rid of these evil cartels that are destroying their country. Oh, wow, okay. Top response is time to bring out the fear-mongering hate card right out of the Nazi propaganda book. Odd that Trump and the GOP do not take time to do or say anything about homegrown gun violence, hate crimes, and mass murders that dramatically outnumber crimes by immigrants. What?
Immigrants? No, there were no crimes committed by immigrants.
Yeah. What?
Brown people, immigrants.
Yes! That's literally what he says. Like, wait. Mexicans? You mean immigrants, don't you, Trump? You must be attacking them. You're a bad person.
Mexicans in Mexico are still... Every Mexican in Mexico is a potential immigrant.
Yeah, let's Schrodinger's immigrant, isn't it?
Schrodinger's immigrant.
Tell me which Mexican it is, and tell me where they are. But the thing about this is just fucking special, right? Like, are you actually going to sit there in defense of murderous Mexican cartels, are you, buddy? Like, that's bold, man. I would be
amazing.
Like...
All they do is talk about how much Trump hates Mexico, and then he's like, you know what? If Mexico wants our help with their drug cartel problem, we'd be happy to provide it. And that's still racist. It's racist either way.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? It's like, well, like, what does Trump go from that point? Like, I can't even kill drug cartels who are ruining an entire country without being the bad guy. I mean, what does he do from that point onwards?
Well, you know the meme, if Trump cured cancer, suddenly people would be pro-cancer? Well, it's not a meme. It appears to be observable reality.
Doctors out of work.
What a bastard. How dare he?
Should Trump just say, fuck Mexico?
Yeah, imagine the response if he had. It would be the complete opposite. But anyway, the next tweet is actually something useful. So the next tweet is someone claiming that the president of Mexico is in the pocket of the drug cartels, which I'm sure is a much more likely
Shocked
thing.
Pikachu face.
Yeah, exactly. I can't say I'm surprised by this.
I mean, could be, sure. It's a potential.
And as likelihoods go, yeah, I'd probably put money on it myself. So this has been a wonderful little series of events. Right, I'm just going to do a quick Google search, see if I can find anything else on it. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with using the U.S. military to assist their nearest ally, or one of the nearest allies, in clearing out drug cartels. I mean, like, drug cartels are just a universal bad for a country. That you don't want them. Why would anyone have anything bad to say about this? I mean, like, the whole point is they're undermining the rule of law by actually acting as kind of like feudal barons, and they're actually feuding. Like the whole point of being feudal was you are essentially a like mini sovereign, and you can declare war on people as you choose, and that's what these drug cartels are actually doing. So you have to get rid of that because that is the destruction of the rule of law. Like, it's entirely desirable to wipe these cartels out. Entirely.
Speaking of desirable to wipe people out, is this a small map against 3 computers?
No, it's a big map.
Yeah, it just seemed cramped.
We're
Well,
so far away from each other.
I guess we will be seeing the murders sooner rather than later.
Yeah, damn
It's a very interesting question, though, the whole Mexico thing, because they are legitimately in a state of internal war.
Yeah.
And
not
at the
like-
same time, if we were to intervene in that, or if the US was to intervene in that, it would have to be a major, large-scale, long-term deployment of US forces operating probably completely independently inside of their country. Because, again, there's so much corruption. You can't really do this in cooperation with the Mexican military, or it's a waste of fucking time, really. As cruel as it seems. And at that point, you're basically just occupying another nation, aren't you?
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be at the request of the government, the Mexican government. I mean, he did make it clear that, like, you know, if Mexico asks us to help, we're going to come and help. Again, nothing at all wrong with what he said there.
Yeah, if I was Mexico, I certainly wouldn't be afraid of the U.S. like invading,
Yeah, that's obviously not...
especially in a modern.
But the thing is, like, you could do basically what Brazil did. They just got this, you know, their elite forces, and just spent like a year in like 2014 or whatever it was, just destroying their fucking hideouts. You know, like wherever their strongholds were, they'd just go in and just clean them the fuck out with guys who are highly trained and have lots of guns, and that's what you need to do. If these people don't immediately surrender, you shoot them all. Like, there is no loss there. They are effectively enemy combatants. That's the thing. They are setting themselves up as a fucking mafia state and hurting people along the way. You have to destroy these. There's no getting around it.
And this isn't the kind of thing. It's going to be messy, and yeah, the idea that you can avoid that, probably overly optimistic.
Well, again, you can take a cue from the Brazilian special forces, because these are surgical strikes on like gang headquarters. You don't really get much in the way of civilian casualties because, you know, these people have their own sort of fortresses effectively, and so just go in there and bomb the shit out of it. I don't know, but the U.S. military could clean this up pretty quickly. This could be like Trump's Pompeii moment where he cleans up the Mediterranean Sea of pirates in like 6 months, and everyone's like, shit, we thought that was going to take years.
Yeah, and
The
if
thing is,
just a
it's
matter of
probably
we're
going
giving
to
air
take
support.
years. It's like these are entrenched forces with corrupt officials giving them instructions of what's happening. There's vast areas of inhospitable terrain, and they're deeply entrenched in the local populace as well. Like, this would be a long-term campaign, almost certainly.
I suspect that many of the local populace actually wouldn't be very favourable to the cartels, though.
I don't know. Like, favorable, perhaps, but there's a long-term relationship, quote unquote, of both fear and also employment in many degrees. Like, Pablo Escobar was so untouchable for so long because he kept on the right side of the people. Now, that did break down a fair bit with his death as well.
Yeah, true. That is a good point. Who knows? Right, I'm just going to read out a couple of super chats. There's a quick question in the chat. Can anyone become English? Yes, but it's something a bit specific. But anyway, can't make the live stream. Love your work. Oh, thanks, man. Let's hope Brexit happens so it can show how the EU is falling apart. It will indeed show that. I dread to think what the EU is going to look like when we leave. Buns equals bread, burgers equals sandwiches. Change my mind.
What now?
Buns, like something in a bun, is a form of bread, and a burger is a sandwich.
Burgers
I'm
are
fine
not
with-
sandwiches. Only mentally deranged people would think so.
What's the What's the disqualifier?
Burgers have the little seeds on them, and they taste better.
This little sesame seeds on them. It's
But, I
not
mean,
a sandwich if there's sesame seeds.
Is the sandwich constructed from the form it takes or the things it's made from?
Very philosophical.
Well, that's the
I don't
question. Because I mean, like, you know, because if you're sandwiched between something, that doesn't have to be two slices of bread.
And they can't be connected
Yeah,
because
But
you
a
have
bun-
tacos and
yeah. A bun is connected, isn't it? So
Oh, checkmate, I suppose.
yeah, so maybe it is a form of sandwich. And the thing is, I don't even like that because I don't think they're sandwiches either. I think it's an illegitimate categorization. But yeah, checkmate, I guess. Burgers become sandwiches. Good super chat, Andrew Levin. I'm going to give you a lot of credit for that, man. You've actually demolished that argument. Now I think about it. Democrat response: we need more open borders. Yeah. So this kind of harks back to the MS-13 thing with Trump, where he's calling them animals and that they're not even human and that, you know, blah blah blah. They need to be wiped out, which they do. Like MS-13 are actually evil. They're like Mexican ISIS, and these cartels are not very far different. Although MS-13 is worse than most, obviously. And I bet they're somehow going to find a way to call Donald Trump a racist over this.
oh, of
Of
course.
course, because they ignore who it's aimed towards.
Yeah.
It's just it is all Mexicans are cartel people, apparently.
Yes, and they're all illegal immigrants, apparently. Illegal immigrants who are part of cartels. Welcome to Mexico.
It might seem like a shit place, but trust us, not quite that bad.
The progressives have a very negative view of the place, though.
Apparently.
No Mexican is in lawful employment. God, I love the progressives sometimes.
I
Probably
get
scratching
harsh.
their head, but where does the money come from?
Why are you declaring war on Mexico, Sargon? Well, I mean, it's because the entire country is full of... everyone in Mexico is a cartel member, and cartels killed some people. So they need to be dealt with. So it's state action by the Mexican government as far as progressives are concerned with these murders. These were sanctioned by the Mexican government. I mean, I can't believe this isn't more of an international incident, to be honest. Let's skip the foreplay and annex Mexico. The southern border would be much easier to quarantine. Okay, guys, do you think that the US should annex Mexico?
Like,
Press
if you
1 in the
want
chat.
if you wish to avoid more Mexicans in your country, this seems like like a less than right thing. It's
Instead
like,
instead of making them in our country by definition.
I mean, granted, yes, it will solve the illegal immigration problem by making them all legal immigrants, but still.
There's too much Mexican immigration, except now they can't even leave. You can't exactly deport them to another country now.
You're trapped. You will be here forever now.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
So, I mean, I don't know how much you want to annex Mexico, but I mean, you know,
No.
maybe.
No.
Do it. Like, it's better than annexing Canada. Why is everyone in the chat one to annex Mexico?
I
mean,
think this is a very short-term reaction, honestly.
You know what? No, I'm down for it.
Or maybe it's just the YouTube chat being in their memeing.
Maybe the YouTube chat just knows more than we think, okay?
Maybe.
I have faith in you. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see it happen just to see what the result was. I mean, it's not going to make Mexico worse, is it? So,
I mean, probably not.
just seems like it'd actually be a win. And they're probably right. Mexico's southern border probably is easier to quarantine. Loads of people are up for it. Oh man, are we finally annexing Mexico? Bring it on. Why? What do you want that's in Mexico?
It may also be easier to quarantine, but I also think you're just moving the problem one step further south. Now, of course, you could make the
Annex
logical argument
Guatemala.
that, the argument against that would be, okay, well, we'll just take the solution one step further south as well.
Well, I mean, okay, but by that logic, we've justified now taking over all of South America. And
Yeah,
honestly,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
it wouldn't be worse for South America if that happened. Like, you know, I don't think that's not a reasonable assumption. So that's not the problem. It's, I suppose, a question of sovereignty. How do we justify this?
Well, they're coming into our lands, and they really want to be here, so
The Mexican
make sure
government
they be
sent
here.
those cartels.
This is at their own request, apparently.
Right. Like in Rambo Last Blood. You know, I have never actually seen Rambo Last Blood. Rags? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Rambo Last Blood either.
Oh.
I've heard it's a dystopian Trump nightmare film.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, that sounds like it's worth watching, actually, now you say it.
Yeah,
sounds
which
fucking
makes me want to
glorious.
see it.
Yeah. Sounds
I'll get
quite
around to it
exciting.
eventually, I'm sure.
Dystopian Trump Nightmare is a new genre of cinema I didn't know about, but I'm very excited to hear about.
I'm
Well,
ready.
I love this.
Psychological horror.
This is absolutely genius, though. Mormon separatists killed by scary militant aliens. Isn't this how Starship Troopers started? Yes, but I don't think that Mormons holidaying in Mexico necessarily makes them separatists. But it's only a matter of time, let's be honest.
Plus, whilst comparing the Arachnids to Mexicans might make sense on the surface, it seems a bit harsh when you look deeper into it.
Dear Mexicans listening, I love you, even if Arch doesn't. As the son of Mexican immigrants and a native Utahn, is that word? I'd likely enlist if it meant wiping the cartel from my parents' former and my grandparents' current homeland. See, that's the kind of spirit I like to hear. Like, man, if you've got cartels, like, this is the same in Brazil. Like, if you've got all this terrible fucking shit going on, it is your duty as a citizen to help restore order. Like, you know, that's, again, not a controversial thing to say, really, is it? Like,
Well, yeah.
like, what else are you going to do? Seriously, like, gangs of cartels running around murdering citizens, that's a genuine threat to the state. Like, that's a threat to law and, like, the rule of law, the principles on which a democratic country is founded are being totally undermined. That makes them insurgents, traitors, by the fact that they're not obeying the law. These people have to be fucking dealt with, man. This is why I bet Carl Kalinski's still like, oh yeah, well, we're not going to do anything. We shouldn't do anything. It's like, yeah, no, you should. There's actually warrant here. So I shouldn't put words in his mouth. He might be saying, yeah, fuck those cartels. I'm sure he is, you know. But like, this sort of like ultra pacifist perspective always really pisses me off because look, sometimes stuff needs to be done.
If you kill your enemy wins.
Exactly. I'm not going to accept the blackface interpretation of this fucking situation. Ave Sargon, guest arch, and Rags. Chat mods, lovely time of day. First time here. Any rules I should be aware of? Have a nice stream. Do we have rules?
First, for being in the, are the rules for being in the chat?
Oh god. If there are rules, I'm not even aware of them.
Technically speaking, there are. Like, if you,
Like Google's rules.
Well, yeah.
enter large numbers of swastikas and you'll see Sargon's channel disappear. Like, that's one thing. So,
I mean, that's more of a
not.
game rule. But
Yeah. Gamers in my chat, don't rise up. Okay.
I guess rules, no spam. No spam. Spam's bad. That's my rule. No links, no self-promotion to your channel, and
Post
no spam.
post interesting and funny stuff because I've got the chat up on the side. So, oh yeah, the tweet from Kyle Kalinski, man. So the other day, Kyle Kalinski was obviously traveling on the plane. He tweets out a picture of like the vast fields of wheat in like Colorado and Kansas and whatnot, and he's like, I don't know why it's like this, and I mean.
Why it's like what?
Why it looks like a patchwork of fields.
Oh, that's called farming.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Well,
this new thing we just came up with recently.
that's the thing,
Maybe
man.
you've heard of it.
I saw this too. I thought, right, I'm not gonna tease him for this because there must be some sort of misinterpretation going on, right?
There must be. He knows what a farm is.
Yeah,
Farmers are the bad Trump people.
Yeah, they're the racist deplorables, Kyle. No, but he must know what farmland is, right? Like,
Yeah, you can't not know what a farm. Surely you've seen one like in photos or in movies or something. They're real. We didn't make them up.
My son knows what farmland looks like. Like he's looked out the window on the plane, and I've pointed it out to him. He knows. Like Kyle, come on, you're like 30 years old, dude. Rags, I've got a question for you. Are you?
Yes.
Are you mad aware of the Jeb Nicholson long man bad tweet?
Oh, yeah. We talked about it yesterday on Mahler server.
Right, okay, because I don't even know what that sentence is meant to say.
We covered
speak
Jenny
Zuma,
Nicholson's. We covered Jenny Nicholson's really shitty Joker video,
Oh, right.
and and so she learned about EFAP and of course Longman bad. So
Right. Who's Jenny
They got all
Nicholson,
upset.
just out of interest?
she's some shitty movie reviewer.
Right, okay. Sitch and Friended did one about Lindsay Ellis that I want to watch, but I just haven't had time.
It was when she did that presentation thing. I've seen
XOXO,
parts of it from Dev's video.
Oh, there's some real gold
Sure
that
she's-
comes out of the XOXO festival.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's just
Like Harry
bastion of intellect. Yeah.
H Bomber Guy did his and didn't even mention that he used to be part of a harassment gang on the internet and regularly ignores Me Too claims from transgender people.
Disgusting,
He's
really.
such
How
a good
could he?
progressive, and he certainly doesn't have a huge amount of guilt on his mind. But to be fair, his body count's probably lower than Zoe Quinn's, so
To be fair, most people's body count is lower than Zoe Quinn's.
interestingly, Jim was part of the same group. Isn't that weird? So weird that no one's got anything to say about it. Right, fine.
I don't know. I'm not putting anything
I'm
past
not
him.
aware of this even.
He's the one who
You know-
said moderation is a delusion. Who knows what the fuck goes on in his head?
Well, yeah, but him, Mr. Metzger, and a bunch of others used to be part of this like harassment group on the internet. Like, and that's what they do on this website. They plan to like terrorize people effectively.
That whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think I saw something of that years ago.
Yeah, this is where he's grooming those kids.
Yes, that part.
Oh, I look forward to the comments.
Well, one must have something to do on one's free time.
Yeah, I noticed that he got his channel demonetized though, since V was insistent on bringing that to attention. That's tragic.
Horrible.
As someone who has also been demonetized, welcome to the club, Jim. How's that Patreon doing? It's surely only a matter of time now if they're starting to wipe you off, mate. Arch 1, I believe the Imperium has feudalistic thoughts. Is feudalistic, sorry. And 2, have you read Imperial Glory or 15 Hours?
15 Hours I have read fucking ages ago. Imperial Glory doesn't ring any bells immediately. And as for the Imperium being feudalistic, just like calling it fascist, I feel like that is an oversimplification of the absurdly complex internal structure of the Imperium.
You run a galactic empire that doesn't resemble feudalism.
I mean, how many millions of people are in the Imperium?
I mean, that's how
Trillions upon
Isaac.
trillions.
Trillions,
I mean, that's essentially how Isaac Asimov's Foundation Empire
Yeah.
was. Just the scale of it kind of means you don't have much of a choice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they would
the
love
thing
to
is-
have a lot of oversight.
The Imperium would love to be fascist, but it literally cannot. It is not possible with the technology they have available to them.
Okay, so
And feudalistic too is like, yeah, it's probably close, but honestly, I feel like a theocratic oligarchy is probably the closest you come to a accurate description
The
to
best
detail.
kind of oligarchy.
Yeah, like you're basically being asked like, oh, define this thing consisting of 300 million fucking planets, all with different governments.
I mean, I suppose with like the Imperium, there's going to be much more inter-Imperium war than there's going to be Imperium versus Alien war, right?
There's a hell of a lot of rebellions going on, which is why it was really funny when I found that article who went like, there's no rebellion against the Imperium.
Also, end your turn.
I'm working on it, fucker. I'm getting fucked here. There's a giant robot just sitting, swinging his dick outside my base, and it makes me want to cry.
Yeah, I'm under constant attack too. But anyway,
Sadness.
okay. Just going to say, when the Irish invited the Normans to assist in domestic affairs, they stayed for 700 years. Yeah, well, they stayed here for like 1,000 years, mate. So, like, you know, we all know what the problem with the Norman question is.
We improved upon your piece of shit country. Thank you very much.
Oh, I love that it's the we now, is it?
Willem the Conqueror was it's a
Yeah,
descendant
yeah.
of Rollo, which was Norwegian. So
I know. I'm well aware. I just find it funny that it's we now.
We fixed your look. When we arrived, you were almost German, you know? We fixed this.
We were German, kind of.
Yeah, there you go.
Island
Your
German.
gratitude knows no end, I'm certain.
Yeah. The good Germans. I see the EU is upset about the word kraut now. As a person of German descent, I hereby give you one K-word pass. Use it wisely. Well, shit, man.
K-word.
I used it when I was reading that fucking soup chat. Thank you. I didn't know the EU was upset about the word kraut. Let me have a look. Kraut's EU. Oh, that was a while ago. We didn't write the push around by a bunch of krauts. Sorry, yeah. No, of course. That was a while ago, so I thought something new had happened that I hadn't been aware of. But yeah, no, fuck those krauts, honestly. I'm just going to start using kraut to mean general European at this point if they're going to be like that about it. So, you know. Richard Spencer's a kraut.
He was a bit harsh, even by your standards.
God, I loved his meltdown, man. I love that it seems that I got a shout out in Richard Spencer's psychotic meltdown. Like, what? Who says the word octoroon anymore?
Has he commented on that yet, by the way, or is he just digging down, hoping it'll go away?
Why would you say anything? What are you going to say?
Octoroon?
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just like to add, octoroon is miscommunicated in this sentence. I meant quadroons.
Yeah, I think that's what Richard meant too.
Only one of my great-grandparents was black.
I can't... Oh, yeah, there he is. No, he's still on Twitter, which is good, but he has... He's just calling them all traitors now, it seems. But he's basically ignoring it.
I mean, if you're betraying the Fuhrer, you are a traitor.
Just
The
attacking
worst form of
Milo.
treachery.
No, it doesn't seem to be directly addressing it. You know, I mean, I'd kind of like it if he just came out and said, you know what, Richard Spencer for Slavery 2020. I'm running for president on the platform of enslave the blacks. Like, just do it, Richard. Fucking, what's the worst that's going to happen, mate?
Yeah,
it will fucking boom the economy.
You sit there and go, well, I'm going to make the moral argument, the economic argument. just go wild, Richard. It'd be at least funny.
You know how we're being outcompeted by China because of cheap labor? Well, I can make cheaper labor.
Like, you've gone this far, man. You may as well take that next step. It'll just be a laugh at this point.
Oh, God.
People should get Enslave Me Richard t-shirts. Oh, I shouldn't laugh. It's just, like, because it's really unfortunate, you know, like, I've never done that myself, but I'm sure that a lot of people have those moments where they threaten to enslave everyone again, you know? Like, so...
we all have those days.
Oh, yes.
You wake up on the wrong side of the plantation.
Yeah. You stub your toe in your mansion and you're just like, God damn it, that fucking octoroon who nailed my house together.
It's Richard Spencer when the Mexican housekeeper comes payday. Right. He doesn't seem to have commented too much, which is a shame. Sandwiches triangular, burgers around. What? No, what? Sandwiches do not necessarily have to be triangular.
Yeah, I agree. They can be round. It's fine.
No, they can be square or rectangular.
They can be round as well.
I mean, I guess technically they could be. I can't think of any compelling logical reason why that shouldn't be the case, apart from my feelings. So get prepared for that argument that I'm about to throw. Sorry, go on.
We have invented polar bread. Okay, it's actually kind of delicious. I think it's made from like ground up reindeer testicles, according to the package.
Ground
Are you
up.
serious?
You have to like dry them out first.
I mean, I'm assuming so. Like, there's a picture of a reindeer and a package of bread, so I'm assuming the reindeer is in the bread. I mean, otherwise it would be false advertisement.
Why can you not read the Norwegian
Why would
words
you?
on
Why
the
did you go
outside?
to? Why did you go to testicles?
Yeah.
Well, what other part of the animal would you make bread out of? The meat? The
Well,
horns?
no, the antlers.
That's disgusting.
What do you think? What do you think testicles are made out of?
Well, they make squishing sounds, therefore
Complex
bread.
carbohydrates.
Well,
What?
you could grind up the antlers maybe, or the hooves, and maybe there's some like nutritional value in that or something.
Yeah, well, that's disgusting. I wouldn't want to eat antlers.
Well, not raw. We're not barbarians.
Right.
You wouldn't just snap it off like a Slim Jim.
I've got to get through these because there have been loads sent. From the Texas border region here, as much as it would be great for the US military to get involved, it would get really messy real quick, and Mexico would effectively become a protectorate / viceroyalty of the US as a result. Let's be honest. It pretty much is. Like, if Russia were to invade Mexico, are we going to assume that the US doesn't prevent that from happening? Like, any country in NATO is effectively a US protectorate.
Sad but true.
There's no getting around it. Like, I mean, Guy Verhofstadt is not actually wrong that it's a world of empires. It's just that he's trying to revive the wrong empire. Like I love this fucking like let's be an empire. It's like a European empire. It's like, how about a British empire? We had that, didn't we? That was a thing. If we're talking empires, I mean, I'm not for bringing back any empire really, but like, why would I want to be in a German one?
German Empire just kind of seems like a bad idea.
American Freedom Empire.
Well, essentially the British Empire, yeah.
And see, you Americans have been trying, but you keep like doing it halfway. You invade a country, run all over the local populace until they start eating their own fucking dead. Then you're like, bye.
That wasn't very complimentary.
Yeah. All I'm saying is we need an empire with a bit more staying power.
Well, I think it's an attitude thing.
Basically, if you put the British in charge of running the world while you go off killing all the bad guys, I think the world might actually become a better place.
It's like, here, lock the door while we're gone.
I mean, well, think about it. Literally, almost all of our former colonies fucking love us. Like, we must have done something right.
Yeah, but a lot of your former colonies are also sheep fuckers, Australians. Yeah,
Well, yeah, I guess some of them are.
not sterling credentials.
Well, no, but like India, the world's largest democracy and stuff like this, you know. Like, the Britain's still got lots and lots of friends and allies around the world, even though we ruled it all. So, and normally when someone's ruled a large amount of territory, the people in that territory fucking hate them. So, we must have done something that was fairly decent.
Gamer tries up.
I honestly can't wait to see the BuzzFeed article about this stream.
What, our vampire stream?
No, this one now.
I'm still thoroughly
funny.
disappointed nobody's picked up on that yet.
Yeah, me too. Was it Jared Holt or whatever? Come on, dude. We're having so much fun. Hitler's gonna win. That's Dev's plan, not mine.
He went one step further. He said we should become Hitler.
Oh, good point.
We have the meta knowledge that he doesn't have what it takes.
That is true. Hitler came up short. A bit too obsessed with fortifying cities, really, after that whole Stalingrad thing.
Yeah. You want mobility, flexibility, don't you?
Oh, by the way, if you could not pew those guardsmen up there, because they're kind of my dudes, they're just confused about their loyalties right now.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah, I'll just kill the neophytes.
Yeah, go ahead. They're not my color, so you can kill them.
Yeah, okay, we'll do.
See, this is a bit of a spicy one. Of course, you can't fucking read it because it's all in Norwegian, but, you know, take my word for it. The exact article headline is ISIS prisoners should be treated humanely in accordance with international human rights as prisoners of war.
And as you pointed out earlier when we spoke about this, Rags, how do the other prisoners get treated then?
I assume that we should treat all prisoners humanely.
Yeah. But not in Norway.
The differential
Only
here
ISIS.
is they are not prisoners of war. They're just foreign criminals, and as such, we should not treat them any way whatsoever. It's up to local authorities to treat them. And if they ended up in the Middle East, well, I'm fucking sorry.
Why do we have them?
We don't. This was in reference to a prison camp in Syria, I believe. And the argument was essentially that we should bring them home because they're being treated poorly where they are.
No. They think so. They're in Syrian prisons, but we should bring them over here to our prison so they're treated better.
Uh-huh.
No. Shemaima Begum the whole lot. You can fucking stay over there. That's your fault.
I don't know. Pragmatically, that's just a burden on the taxpayer. And, money doesn't grow on trees, and I don't want him here. I don't want the bad men here.
Morally, fuck these traitors.
Absolutely. They renounced their citizenship when they left. They joined a terrorist state. And, of course, another thing, too, is
that we're
for them to be
war with. You joined the enemy. You fucking fuck you.
And that too. See, because it wasn't a war. Because that's what they're trying to rely on. It's like, oh, they're prisoners of war. And even if they didn't sign the Geneva Convention, the other parties are still bound by its rules, except they weren't a nation. Nobody's recognized them as a nation. Ergo, they're just criminals.
Just throw them in a hole. They're ISIS. Throw them in a hole as humanely as possible.
Artemis Fowl says, cereal is a form of soup. Prove me wrong.
This is like one of those our taco sandwiches things. Let me see. I don't feel like. Let me look at the definition of soup, and if anyone has a contention with it, let me know. I don't want soup near my house. I want soup definition. A primarily liquid food, generally served warm or hot, but maybe cool or cold, that is made by combining ingredients of meat or vegetables with stock or water.
That doesn't sound like cereal one bit.
No.
Yeah, so I understand from a ingredients perspective how you might say it's kind of like soup, but I don't believe milk is a sufficient medium in which to have cereals and grains predominantly.
You can't have a soup of milk, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think you can have milk soup. You'd have to do more to it. You can have milk in soup, but you're gonna have to do more to it than that.
Are you guys arguing if cereal is a soup?
Well, it was a super chat.
It's not arguing if no one. So far, it's not an argument. Right. Because I think we're all in agreement that it's not.
Yeah.
Cereal and soup, two different things.
Yeah, I think those are two different things. Though I can understand I can understand the confusion. It's in a bowl. It's mostly liquid. There are things in it. You eat it with a spoon. I understand, but not quite. Doesn't quite fit the bill.
Fucking splat.
Yeah, I know, man. I'm gutted.
In much the same way that burritos and tacos are not sandwiches.
So, Sargon, what the fuck have you done to the settings of this game to have cells of 4+ super robots just wandering the fucking map?
It's not even on very high.
It's horrible.
It's on high, but not very high. So, man, I don't know. But everyone watching must be like, you guys suck at this game, which is true. It's also on really hard. But anyway, don't forget the literal Mexican militias fighting the cartels. Yeah, let's go help those guys.
Yeah,
they sound like our version of the Kurds, right? So we can help them. The planet broke before the guard, apparently, Arch.
It did. It absolutely did.
Ask Arch about Wargamer 40k. There was an article written about it, supposedly by Big Games Workshop fan. What's that?
Wargamer 40k. Yeah, no, that's in reference to the article I did a video on recently where a dude's like, oh yeah, I'm a huge supporter of 40k. The same one that went, there are some women, Mexicans, and liberals who play 40k, but the rest are assholes. And he started out by referring to the setting, Games Workshop, most popular setting, Wargamer 40k. And I'm like, that didn't take you like
fellow
long, buddy.
Warhammer fans. Oh, shit,
Exactly.
How do you follow Warhammer
How about
fans?
those space marines?
I had a game
how
of
about
Gamer 40,000.
How about them Warhammers, fam?
Yeah, isn't the Emperor great?
Oh, and also Trump is a what was it? The reason why the God Emperor Trump meme is a thing is because to people like us, Trump represents real traditional American values.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, calling him that makes you upset, which is happening.
Yeah, it's just a funny.
Which is
meme.
really the only that's why I do it.
Shit, I'm getting gang fucked by these robots. Yeah,
It's the Imperial way.
apparently fucking so. Yeah, but no, the representation of American values, that's pretty true.
The Emperor was pretty heavy-handed with his shit.
No, I mean, but that's why he's got Emperor Trump. I mean,
I think it's just a funny meme.
yeah,
He was
I think it's
also
a
banning all religion, which I think is probably not going to be a great platform in the US, honestly.
Yeah. Though in a way, I mean, Trump's almost certainly he's an atheist, so that would fit.
yeah. I don't think he actually spends a lot of time in church.
No, I don't think so. Time is money.
Yeah.
So how about them cartels, fam?
Yeah,
Haha.
it's pretty mad, isn't it? Do you reckon he should do
It's
it?
pretty crazy. Fuck it. It can't get any worse.
Yeah.
Like Mexico's already like basically a failed state at this point, so
Pretty fucking much.
I think we
Just
may be
create a buffer
overstating
zone.
it slightly. I think in the sort of more urban areas, like it's fine. Seems to be a northern Mexico thing from what I've researched, but I'm not saying I'm an expert on or anything like that. But
there are safer areas, yeah, but the government basically does not have control of swathes of their own country.
yeah. I was saying earlier, Scrum, crush them with a fucking iron fist. Like,
And that would
Yeah.
really put the cartels in an odd position where, we're killing the Mexican government and militias and stuff like that. Yeah, it's one thing, but, once the United States shows up in whatever capacity, he's like, oh shit, do we really want to destroy this warplane? Do we really want to shoot at this helicopter? Is this, how much do we want to really rock the boat of the United States?
well, yeah. I mean, there's no way they're gonna win, so
Yeah, that's the thing. He's like, oh shit, oh fuck.
there's nothing to worry about.
Well, for them.
Well, for you.
Oh, no, not for me. I'm in Arkansas.
Well, I mean, just for the Americans.
No. It's I'm saying that from the cartel's perspective, they're really in a rock and a hard, place.
Oh, yeah.
Because shooting down a Mexican helicopter or killing some of their guys, like, well, they hate us anyway. They're trying to kill us anyway. But when a new challenger approaches, it's the United States. You're like, shit.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Oh yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know, the
Wags, when are you gonna
Huh?
get... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say that it would essentially be a guerrilla war, and we don't. The US doesn't have the best track record with those, so
Yeah,
it
but
could be
you're gonna have-
interesting though.
You're gonna have Mexican locals helping you, like actually trying to help. Like, I think Americans understand Mexicans a lot better than they understand Iraqis.
That's true.
Yeah. And when it comes to KD, I'd be fucking terrified if I was them.
Yeah.
I don't know though. The US military intervention seems to find a way to fuck things up.
Well, certainly from a political perspective, but from an actual kill bad people perspective,
Oh yeah.
it's you
tactical
don't want to be.
perspective, It's no
Yeah,
question.
that's the issue is the political stuff and the power vacuums and the other stuff like that. But from the military aspect of it, it's not an enemy you want to be fighting.
But the thing is, like, if you're going at the behest of the Mexican government, then
Exactly.
you don't have to worry about a power vacuum. The government's going to fill that, and that's the point. That's why you're doing it. You want them to fill that.
Also,
I don't know,
holy shit, Terminator Dark Fate lost 130 million. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's projected to, yes.
Yeah.
With the way its opening has gone and the way its worldwide opening has gone, it's projected to lose.
Yeah,
Between best case is 110.
because I know it's been doing terrible.
It has,
So
yes.
it's really just a matter of how much.
All of the feminist rags are like, yeah, we're just gonna side this one. We're not taking
Yeah.
this.
They really tried afterwards to pretend that Ghostbusters 2016 was a success, and they
Yeah.
can't even pretend with this one. This one's just
Yeah.
they're quietly admitting this one's a
They're
shit show.
taking the L on this one. Which is great, actually, you know, because it's like, yeah, that's the weakening of the feminist cultural power right there. Oh, fucking hell. Dude, we're going to have to restart, because I'm getting messed the fuck up.
Can't wait for Star Wars Episode 9.
Don't be such a weakling.
You
Oh,
come and help me
God.
then.
I'm kind of trying to.
I'm
But
gonna be
anyway,
interested about
Star Wars, the next one. What do we know about it?
yes.
The leaks suggest it's going to be batshit insane. I can't wait. Star Wars is just.
It's okay, guys. No one's ever really gone.
I'm so ready to see this trash fire.
Well, give us some examples then of the.
An example of now these are leaks. So if you
Yeah.
at this point, if you actually give a shit about what's happening in the Star Wars story, I don't know, but
Re-examine your life first.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The leaks suggest that potentially Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine.
Okay.
Also,
Because why not?
Rey with dual lightsabers is going to confront and kill Emperor Palpatine.
Ugh. There's all those posts on Twitter I saw. It's like, yeah, nobody. It takes a woman to kill Palpatine. Okay, I'm gonna get on my Star Wars high horse here and say that the idea that he's still around makes like fucking Anakin / Vader's sacrifice in Jedi just meaningless. Like,
No,
like
we
he
have
killed
to
himself for no
destroy
reason.
all the old characters, except Leia,
Yeah.
because she's a woman. But we have to destroy all of the old characters so that our new characters could either do those things instead, or just be better than all the old people.
Like they are actively just messing up the storyline. I think at this
it
point
does
most
seem
people-
malevolent. It does seem malevolent, like
It does. It
on
is.
purpose.
We have to use the name for brand recognition for money, and at the same time we're doing that, we have to destroy everything about the old stuff that made it good and that made people like it.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy. I'm
They have like the
about to lose
mindset of children whoever wrote those films. Because I know that like Last Jedi was a mess. It was just it was a first draft that somehow made it to screen. It felt like, but this just feels like, look guys, look, our characters. You can't hate our characters because they're better than the original characters. Because they're doing look she's fighting Palpatine, guys. It's like, how retarded do you think your audience is?
It's almost like they're going to define themselves to be in agreement with people. So, like, look, you already hate Palpatine, and she's killing Palpatine, so you must love her. It's like, no, she can
Yes.
also be shit.
Not only can she is the literal definition of shit, pretty much.
Seems to be going out of her way, in fact.
I hope this movie flops. I hope this is like a horrendous failure for Disney. I hope they lose like hundreds of millions of dollars because something needs to burst this fucking bubble because cinema right now is miserable.
It's shit, man.
Disney has also already been very quietly canceling shows and TV series and movies and stuff. But they know, they've realized this.
They're having to
They're
forge
starting to
ahead
wake
with
up.
the whole. Is it Disney Plus? There's still a bunch of series coming out for that. Because I think a lot of them got too far along. I don't know. I just think people are just gonna get incredibly sick of Marvel and Star Wars. And outside of that, like apart from milking its traditional properties, what does Disney really have to present people? I don't know what's going to replace it for Disney. Disney might be putting themselves in quite an awkward situation with all this crap.
Yeah. The great comment in the chat here in a second. Like, this is what it's like, right? Breaking. Frodo threw the wrong ring into Mount Doom, and then Eowyn is going to do the job properly this time. I'm not watching.
Oh my
that.
god, yeah.
You know, if that was like the sequel to the feminist sequel to Lord of the Rings,
This is the Disney sequel.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Turns out that Sam's daughter in 25 years finds the ring because the something secret ring Sauron made, and this is the real ring. And it's
Don't
that's
even
what
joke
Hollywood
about that. This is going to happen.
Yeah, now we've said it, it's going to be coming into it.
Now that we say it.
They're gonna drive a truckload of money up to Peter Jackson's house, like they did with the Hobbit trilogy.
Peter, you sold the shill. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sadness, basically. Anyway, let me carry on with these a sec. This stream is a great birthday gift. Thanks, Uggs. Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Let's remember MS-13 are God's children. That's true. I like seeing Sargon just get to play games. It means enough feminists have been vanquished so we can take a moment to pause and just enjoy the finer things. Yeah, it's nice to just hang out for once and have a laugh.
He gets to enjoy having 4 Castellan robots just land on his spawning position and be like, we own this planet.
It's fucking brilliant. US invaded Mexico in 1916 due to another criminal thing. Yeah, see, there's precedent for this as well. So, if anyone's going to invade Mexico and fix it, the US is probably best positioned to do it.
Oh god, the Mexico expedition. That's an interesting chapter of history.
Fucking hell. According to my Mexican co-worker, around 70 to 80% of the country has family in the cartels and want to protect them. The cartels even have their own religion, Santa Muerte, which is a god of, like Saint Death or something, right? I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. The
in Europe,
cartels are genuinely massive. Like, they are absurdly huge, and they are very much so worked into everyday life. Which is why it's going to be so difficult to root them out, because you're going to have to go through it pretty much, root them out. But hey, a nice quick little bloody civil war has often solved many problems.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta break a few eggs to make Mexico great again.
Absolutely. They're not going to get better by us just sitting here looking at them.
Destroy the cartels, annex Mexico, deport them all. But where are you going to deport them to?
Super Mexico? I don't know.
Southern Mexico. Formerly known as Guatemala, what?
What? Everyone takes a step down. The Mexicans become Guatemalans, the Guatemalans become Hondurans. Oh, dear.
Glad to see you finally realised the truth about burgers. We should annex Mexico. They cannot come here illegally if we bring America to them. Well, there's that manifest destiny shining through. But that's not wrong. Can we continue forcing Israel to buy our weapons, but take a few welfare checks from them and give money to Mexico? Hashtag dancing Israelis. I have no idea. And I don't care.
I like it how this has brought back up the whole... You've heard about the whole gun walking thing, haven't you, Sargon?
The gun walking thing?
Have you heard of the Fast and Furious program?
I've heard it being bandied around, but generally in like conspiracy channels, because I watch a lot of conspiracy stuff still.
Oh no, that is not a conspiracy. This is a matter of record.
I've never taken
Obama
to fact check it.
No, it's true. Obama had a program in which they were trying to sting the cartels by selling them guns, but a lot of the time, I don't know whether it was an attitude or on purpose, but a lot of the times they did what was called letting the gun walk, is that they just let the cartel people walk off with automatic weapons, and they estimate that 2 or 3, like it could be the number could be as high as 2,000 or 3,000 automatic weapons ended up in the hand of the cartels, sold to them by the US government. It was fucking crazy. It was supposedly supposed to be sting operations, but they sometimes did what they called letting the gun walk, and this could have happened, hundreds and possibly thousands of times. And that is not a conspiracy theory. It's a matter of public record.
That's terrible. Like, why would you even think that was a plan that you were going to take? Give them guns. Why? Just why? Just doing nothing would have been better.
It's like, well, we'll see where the guns resurface, and we'll figure out their lines. It's just that's such thin logic. I actually think that it was probably incompetence, but it really does come across like the Obama administration was just arming the cartels, because they essentially were.
in reality, what's happening? The U.S. government's giving guns to cartels. Great plan. Very big brain. The US's political parties will not back down from their internal war unless one side is totally beaten. It is not enough for Trump to win. He needs to win by a large margin, or else it will get worse in 2024. It'll be if Trump wins, the Democrats are going to be feverish in 2024. Man.
They've already fucking run themselves into an absolute mad panic. Like, if he wins again, dude, good God,
Yeah.
What will the excuse be? What will the excuse be this time?
Yeah, like they just won't listen. The whole thing's just insufferable.
Can't wait.
They're never going to give it up either. They're never going to give it up. There's just there's going to be no fucking convincing them that they lost. And it's the same with Brexit, man. They're just so fucking... No matter how good things start going, they're going to be like, no, don't care.
If you lose a vote, the simple solution is to just keep voting.
Yeah.
Eventually, you'll get the correct decision.
Yeah, exactly. It's the EU's way. Thanks, Tiega131. We should annex Mexico because we can grow the US substantially, and most issues come from south of Mexico, not Mexico itself. Okay, well then, just keep on going. What stops you at any point?
Can I just read you something about this? Sorry, it is as mental as it sounds. The stated goal of allowing these purchases was to track the firearms as they were transferred to high-level traffickers. But what was it? Many people within the organization, including ATF field agents and cooperating gun dealers, questioned the tactic of allowing obvious straw purchases. During Operation Fast and Furious, the largest gun-walking probe, the ATF monitored the sale of about 2,000 firearms, of only which 710 were recovered.
Well, that's fucking ridiculous.
Wow, wasn't a total loss.
And that was just one operation in their entire thing. That's over 1,000 fire. That's like 1,300 firearms in one operation that ended up in Mexico that they could have prevented, that they knew were straw purchases.
Are refugees cowards for fleeing?
Depends on how bad they have it, I guess.
Yeah. Depends on what they're up against, I suppose.
Well, I suppose in this case, ISIS.
To be fair, ISIS was pretty nasty for a time, and the local protection wasn't exactly up to scratch.
So we forgive refugees for fleeing.
Depends.
I mean, I'd
don't
flee
know.
from ISIS, probably. They seem
yeah. But regardless of what you guys are saying, we're going to say, I was going to be like, well, to be honest with you.
I mean, like, if
I'm
you're
not saying I'm some hero, you know what I mean?
If you're moving to Canada because of an Antifa riot, maybe a coward. If you're fleeing ISIS, maybe a little bit different.
The big problem is that the refugee and migrant has become so conflated with the way the media's been trying to emotionalize the issue. So
It'll be Mexican refugees soon. I'm sure they're already saying it, like refugees of the cartels or something like that.
oh my, it's this.
All
You're talking at
Mexicans
both sides of their mouth with that though, because they say, "Oh, Mexico's not a shithole." By the way, all these Mexicans should be allowed into the US because Mexico's a war zone that's unlivable. It's like, which one of these things is true?
Anyone else hear about this Epstein guy? Rumor he killed himself or something? Actually, wait, I might have mixed up somehow. Yeah, man, this whole thing. So yeah, Epstein cover-up, fucking trending on Twitter. Right?
Really? What happened? Did something happen?
500,000 tweets.
Did
Jeez.
you hear about the Project Veritas operation? Yeah, that's what sparked it with ABC.
Yeah, the leaked video, for anyone who hasn't seen this, it's well worth watching. This ABC news anchor, who just looking at the camera, but it's off air, so it's a hot mic, and she's just saying about how the Epstein investigation was done like 3 years ago. You know, like he's the biggest pedophile in the government, like America's ever had or whatever. And it's like, and then it got tanked by various important people around Epstein.
Yeah, of course.
And she's venting about it, and it's like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, she's talking about how they knew 3 years ago and,
Yeah.
and how stuff could have been prevented. And she's come out and apologized for saying that, though. I think she doesn't want to get Clintoned,
Well, yeah.
but
Like, what the fuck? Everyone
because
knows
ABC
Epstein.
News said the story didn't meet their ethical like threshold for proof. Yet they ran the fucking Kavanaugh story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If it doesn't meet the mainstream media's ethical proof requirements, then I guess there's nothing that can be done about it.
Everyone's
amazing.
falling over each other to apologize for daring to speak a bit of truth about this massive pedophile cover-up is disgusting. As
really
if people
is.
didn't hate the media enough already.
Yeah. Fucking, it's really disgusting.
It's one thing to vent about it, but it's another thing to apologize and row back on it now that that's come out, knowing what happened 3 years ago. How much of a spineless coward do you have to? How much of an establishment patsy do you have to be to do that?
True, but I mean, like, you know, it was undoubtedly going to be a job, isn't it? Again, it's easy to
there
talk
are,
tough
like-
with someone else's job, isn't it?
There comes a point where the journalists pretend to be these heroic figures who undergo this terrible trauma for the truth. Yet they're not willing to put their jobs on the line to stop, a cartel of murderous pedophiles they all know about and have known about for years.
Alleged murderous pedophiles. Alleged.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's okay. There's
Just what
no
I've heard, not
barbells
saying
around your
it's
house with a
true.
Sargon.
Otherwise, disavow. We need to annex Canada too. Fucking why?
To
Canada needs
save
some
them
help,
from the
man.
Trudeau cartel.
A Trump majority government
Imagine
now.
President Trudeau. Like, it could happen. Don't act like a Canadian couldn't be a president. Like, you could end up with blackface presidents again. Dems want us to give Mexico our benefits. If we annex them and make them citizens, then they're entitled to them. Good point. Actually, Mexico's daring you to, and like, they're the beneficiaries.
Yeah, don't annex Mexico. It's what the Mexicans want. If you annex Mexico, they win.
Oh, the eternal Mexican. The only explanation and justification we need is manifest destiny. It calls. Well, okay, there we go. Why are we annexing Mexico when we could be taking over Canada like our founding fathers wanted? They probably would have wanted that, actually. Happy Guy Fawkes Day. Yeah, we haven't spoken about that at all, have we? And when I say that, I mean, I guess Brexit.
Guy Fawkes was right, hashtag.
Guy Fawkes did nothing wrong.
Yeah, a lot of people looking at Parliament now. I'm like, maybe it was a mistake to stop that.
It's just so fucking insufferable, man. I just fucking leave. I just don't care. I don't care about the damage. Just fucking leave. For the love of God. And even then,
What the
like,
hell is-
Labour aren't even a fucking Remain party, but they're constantly making the Remain arguments. It's like,
I love like the state of quantum flux that Labour exists in when it comes to Brexit.
yeah, it's, for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically the media narrative on the Labour position on Brexit is that they don't know what they're doing. And the Labour Party activists like Owen Jones and like Jeremy Corbyn will just come out and say, no, it's very simple, and then give you a paragraph of text on how they're going to do it. It's like, no, you don't understand. You have to have something simple that people can remember. Like, you know, they're not scientists working on a treatise or something.
Well, it's simple. We're going to have a referendum, but it's not necessarily going to be on Remain. They don't have any clear plan.
No.
They really don't. And the thing is that they know that their activist base is very pro-Remain, but their socialist leadership is quite actually heavily pro Brexit because they realize that the EU's rules will stop them nationalizing everything and crashing the country into the fucking ground.
Ode to Joy. Alexa, play Ode to Joy. But yeah, it's shit, basically, though. Have you seen this fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg thing with Grenfell Tower?
Yeah, what he's been so taken out of. They are so eager to discredit him. He was just saying that it seemed to people who were there like it was common sense to leave, but they were being told by the fire brigade to stay. That is a very mild take and a very logical and reasonable thing to say.
Yeah, it's totally uncontroversial. That's what the report said.
Yeah.
Like,
I think there's very much an "it's afraid" thing happening with Mogg in the media.
Yeah, it could be.
He's someone who could potentially be incredibly popular. Well, he is quite popular already, but he's kind of in the wings in terms of if what happens in the election is going to be what I think happens, in that there's going to be basically a big result for the Brexit parties, and the Remain vote is going to basically stifle itself. Like, if you look at the polls, by some of the projections, Labour's like fucking done as an electoral party. They are. In fact, their own members didn't want this election and tried to vote against it in Parliament.
Yeah. Oh, they blocked it 3 times.
Yeah, they are shit scared of the vote happening because they know that they are going to get destroyed. Yeah. They are basically non-existent in Scotland, and with the Brexit party hoovering up the north and the Lib Dems hoovering up their kind of muesli-munching heartlands, they don't have a base anymore. Like, they're going to get votes in London from, their Somali base.
No, but like it'll be like university-educated socialists.
It's not even just that. It's okay. The thing is with London, not to get too controversial, is that they have a lot of quote-unquote community leaders there from different communities who are part of the Labour Party. So it's the same in areas of Manchester as well.
Yeah.
In that you have basically entire Pakistani shortlists for MPs in areas because they're their community leader, quote-unquote. They basically have the non-British vote, and that's it.
That's where Corbyn had always wanted to be, though. Let's be honest, isn't it? Like, just think of his political activism. It's all been, foreigners are good. Is that okay?
Their fucking proposal that EU nationals can vote in general elections is just.
Oh God. Why? Why would they want this though? Like, what reasonable person says, why would you want non-citizens voting in your elections?
It's just Labour knows that's for.
It's the only way to get votes.
Like, why? No, but why do you want the votes of non-citizens? Why don't you want the votes of the citizens?
Hey, sitting in the big chair is sitting in the big chair.
Exactly, right? Like, that's fucking awful. It's the most unpatriotic thing.
I can't wait for election night because I can't wait for the salt the day after from all the roses on Twitter.
I tell you what. So the Nigel thing, before we, the Nigel thing is very interesting and seems very sensitive. Like, I've noticed that the Brexit Party supporters are really getting quite radical at this point, and I don't mean that in a negative way either. I think there is just cause, but I think there is a kind of a dim light at the end of the tunnel. That's kind of how I feel about it. You know, like it's a dim light, and we might be getting somewhere closer to it. So I'd rather try that than like bring in Jeremy Corbyn and then have everything go to shit to bring on more chaos. I think we can just weather the storm, you know. So I'm genuinely worried about chaos at the moment. Seems to be a lot of it around.
Yeah, we need to not burn the house down in the meantime while we're trying to remodel it. So
yeah.
There needs to be something to actually Brexit with.
Yes. Annex Canada for the oil, annex Mexico for the Latinas, annex Japan for the anime, annex the Philippines for the Asian Latinas, and annex the UK for tea. Yeah, but aren't these all things you get without annexation because of capitalism?
It's not the same. Something given has no value.
I like how they say annex.
You buy it.
I like how they say annex Britain for the tea. Yeah,
It's
all
so
that
cheap,
tea
it's
comes-
basically free.
We don't have tea. It all comes from China and India, guys.
Yeah.
That was
And
the whole
no,
point
no,
of the
hey,
empire.
that's not true. I've got some Cornish tea that is grown in Cornwall. Thanks, global warming. See, they make it sound like it's all negative. That was a joke. Before the climate change fucking types come at me.
Yeah. Oh god.
I've got to get these tech priests, even if I take some damage, because fucking tech priests, man. Shit. My guy's getting.
I've been seeing a lot of Richard Spencer memes today. Some decent remixes.
I haven't seen any remixes actually.
Oh, let me find one. There's one. Someone did a Kuma remix of it.
Kuma remix. Fuck.
Where he's talking about like No Nut November and all that. But
Alright.
Yeah, this is there be harsh times in this starting position.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to sweep eastwards, just grab the resource titles there. I'll leave them alone. But I've run into another 4 of these fucking castellans, so.
Okay, I will turn the AI difficulty down a bit for these. Quantity now. The difficulty.
Like, honestly, I love the quantity on everything except the 4 Castellan robots. That's just like, okay. I can't actually stop that, right? Before we're deep mid-game.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way to turn those off, because, the number of neophytes and stuff, that's cool. That's like fighting a battle, but these fucking Castellans are too much.
Half the people in the stream aren't in the game. Point to one country the British Empire occupied that turned out worse off. I see no issues than annexation. Well, that is the standard by which the Remainers are measuring our success as a country inside the EU. Their living standards. So I don't see that that's an unfair thing to appeal to. But I can't change your mind offhand. Puerto Rico should not be a state. Why not? If you kill enough of
Puerto
them, they
Ricans
stop
bad
fighting.
people.
Curtis LeMay. We marched our troops into Mexico City in 1846. We should have annexed them then. Yeah, this would all have been in the past then. The socialist Mexican president has been a disaster. He stopped prosecuting criminals and said the narcos are also the populace, and if you don't repress it with the army, obviously people got angry. Well, I mean, if 70 to 80% of families are connected to the gangs themselves, then he's not wrong. But they're still criminal gangs, even if they're giant.
It's like, wow, guys, like some of my best friends are criminals. Can you cool it with like the anti-criminal bigotry, please?
Yeah, but my brother's a criminal, man. Well, he's killed 3 people today.
He's great.
Don't be a bigot.
He's nice to me.
Yeah.
Didn't do nothing. Just trying to turn his life around.
I'd also like to point out, while that's on my mind, the word assume is censored in the Modern Warfare chat
What?
because of ASS. You can't say the A word. So if you type in assume, then it'll be asterisk, 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 UME.
That's really dumb.
We are living in a Christian image board meme. Excuse me. Life has become a Christian Minecraft server.
When I saw it pop up in the chat, and I'm like, what word is this? I can't think of any bad word that ends with UME. And then I was like, oh wow.
Jesus.
You can't. Oh, also the word spawn, that is censored. Spawn.
But that's a necessary word to say in chat.
Yeah, because I was saying, I basically typed in, now the spawn camping begins, because it's Modern Warfare and it's a shit multiplayer game.
Yeah.
And spawn was censored. You can't say spawn.
How is that used as an insult? I mean, I want to learn new insults. Like,
It's not.
who am I offending with
I-
that? Because I'll use it.
I think the Modern Warfare creators, like a lot of people complain about like spawn camping, and they just
Right.
instead
they
of
assume
fixing the
that,
problem
yeah.
in the game, they just censor the word.
Just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it.
This will fix the problem.
Stalinist nightmare. What? Fuck.
It's like Blizzard. It's like Blizzard censoring the word Hong Kong.
Oh, I can't believe China's gonna kill us all, man.
I'll have to kill them first.
It's not good, man. The whole thing is making me worry. The problem is the Mexican military is infiltrated by the cartels, making working with them very dangerous at worst and ineffective at best. Yeah, that's a fair point. Rags, please educate us further on the problems derived from the reviews of Angry Joe.
Oh, the movie reviews.
Yeah.
He gives really shitty films really high ratings. I have no idea what his system is or his criteria, if he even has any.
He just has no taste.
He has no taste. Yeah,
I mean, he's $7
Can't-
Pedro.
he cannot review objectively.
He's never getting those $7 back. You've seen that clip, right?
No.
No.
You've never seen the $7 clip. Holy shit! I have to fix this.
Well, I might have. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
pretty low
it's-
on my list of things to remember, to be honest. It's not even trying to sound like a dick. Like,
Not
it's
even
amazing.
trying.
It's Angry Joe going on a massive rant about like wasting $7 on something.
or like a Richard Spencer style rant.
Yes, basically. No, seriously.
Okay, no, I've not heard of this. But again, like,
Oh, it's pretty.
these things aren't flattering.
Where's it gone? There we go. That's the wrong chat. Why am I not putting things in the right chat today?
See, Sargon, if you just
Probably.
loaded up the last game, we wouldn't have to suffer through this.
I've got a fair force now. I think I can fight off any AI force that I come across now.
Think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Uh,
Shit, look at all the fucking... Why did I open my mouth?
yeah. That's what you fucking get, or.
Oh no, I just got jokered. I got what I deserved. Alright, fuck it. Let's give him some...
To be fair, I actually have not lost all that many troops. I'm not doing that badly. It's just like I'm treading fucking water hard.
Yeah, I'm actually expanding now, though. So. Yeah, fuck it.
Didn't Angry Joe nearly get arrested once for running an illegal lottery?
What?
Yeah, he ran like a competition thing that was like a lottery, but
Right.
he forgot to realize that in the state in which he's based, running a lottery like that is actually illegal.
Oh,
So he quickly had to shut it down.
That's an honest mistake, though.
Yeah,
like I
that's-
wouldn't have fucking
yeah.
thought to check that.
I would.
Nah, I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Yeah, yeah. That is genuinely funny.
Oh look, Sargon, 4 Castellans. What were you saying a second ago?
Okay, look, I'm going to run away because I appear to have no choice. Glad to see you're a man of class and play Ark. Oh, I wish I did. I don't have time to invest into it. Too busy playing this now.
Gladius, though.
But
Yeah.
Sargon,
Well,
what
I can
about
do
your
this while
wife's
I'm streaming.
dinosaur?
Sorry?
What about your wife's dinosaur?
I know, man. I haven't even got one.
I've not played Ark in a long time, to be honest.
Yeah,
I used
I
to
like
play
it.
it years ago.
Yeah, let me see.
Ark is a damn good game, but it requires time investment like few other things.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Rust?
It's still going.
Well, there you have it. It's still going.
Still going.
That answers my question. So have you guys seen that Hermione is now an incel?
Hermione
Yes.
is now an incel. I can take care of that.
Yeah, to be fair, I'd volunteer to fix that too.
I don't think
You
it's
third-
that
sure
she
Richard
can't
Spencer would be
get
proud
a
of us.
man. It's that she doesn't want one, right?
No, she's single and is saying that she's self-partnered.
Yeah.
It
She's
feels like
self-partnered.
But
it feels like a big cope.
that sounds ideological.
Seems like we're
to me.
adding in a lot of unnecessary syllables.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
ideological. It's like, you know, so it sounds like she's gone through, you know, some Hollywood brainwashing cult like Scientology or something, and been like, you know, done the rituals and whatnot, adopted the ideology, and so like self-partnering sounds like a code word for something.
Nah, it sounds like some absolute Chad broke her heart and she ate a bucket of ice cream.
No, I don't think so. I think this is weird. Someone's doing something weird. But it's fine, you know, it's her choice.
I mean, if she wants to die at 45, smelling of cat piss, that's her choice. But
Yeah.
It's Leviosa.
I don't
dying
even care
alone.
how haughty a bitch she supposedly is. I don't mind. She's pretty enough. I'd be fine with it. Just for a while.
Well, you know, not criticizing your bad taste in this stream.
Arch, hit it and quit it Warhammer over there.
Dank says, love you, well done steaks with... Dank says, you love well done steaks with ketchup. Say it isn't true or else Sargon's feminist killery 2020. No, not with ketchup. Not well done either. Medium well, I've become accustomed to.
That's
Hey, let's shut up.
that's at least a flogging.
I don't
No,
know.
see, I can make a cogent argument for why you need to order your steaks well done, okay?
Done.
It's because when you go to some restaurant, you don't know who's back there fucking cooking your steak.
Yeah, if I'm in a third world country like California,
Like, burn
Yeah, I
it,
guess
you
if you're in a
bitch,
third
burn
world
it.
country like
I want my
California,
steaks
sure.
well done to make sure that all the, you know... yeah.
This is
the
why I learned to
health
cook my own
reasons.
steaks.
Well, I'm traveling, you know, so I don't generally
Lol,
eat steaks
leaving the
alone.
house.
Yeah, I know, man. It's a fucking mistake. Don't do it, right? Like, all of your problems stem from the moment you step out the door.
Unironically true.
Yeah, I know. You stay at home.
The
nothing
neats have it
happens to you.
right.
Fuck. Yeah, the needs
You
will
know,
outlast us all.
Internet connection, roof over your head, all the tendies you can eat.
Neat master race.
Uh,
Fuck this.
All right. I suggest you just join me in clearing out the other side of this map. Let's get our ass clear, and then we'll try to work our way through the infinite hordes of fuckery.
Okay. Arch, played my first D&D session and made a character in your likeness, stealing from everyone. I can put my skill in sleight of hand. You've put your skill in sleight of hand. Current president good, an opposition party which actually made it impossible to prosecute past presidents for corruption. New president has been smeared as socialist, but he hasn't done anything yet. That's good information, thank you. I don't follow Mexican politics, so I don't know anything about. Like, I knew they had a new socialist president, but like, you know, I don't know anything about the internal politics or anything. Have any of you played Stellaris? I think I played it a while ago.
Great soundtrack. Haven't played it though.
it's a good
I
game.
played
like
it
Stellaris.
when it was good. Before they decided, like, you know what people like about this game? Let's change all of that and
Oh
make it
my
into an
God,
entirely
yeah.
new game.
They also ruined a lot of the mods I liked as well. They just completely made a lot of it just not work. It was kind of depressing.
Yeah, I don't know what Paradox was really thinking with that.
Oh, they ruined it.
I guess the turban that they're being forced to wear now these days was a little bit too tight on that particular evening.
I guess.
Well, they are Swedish, aren't they?
Ugh. Disgusting creatures.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine being Swedish.
The Australian government is discovering why it's a bad idea to take nothing but lies about the opposition to an election, especially when their economic policies are backed up by analysts after it. It's interesting. I'm not. I don't follow Aussie politics either. Sorry, I'm too much of British and American, man. Like, it just takes enough time to keep covered. I don't know why I feel like I have to defend myself on that. Have you ever heard of Chris Chappell, host of China Uncensored? I think he does some real good work, and I think you two would hit it off swimmingly. I've heard of it, but I haven't had any time to watch any of it. It's one of those things that's just on the list. When I get some time. Squire Tile. Sounds good.
And it crashes.
Another K. As it crashed.
And Gladius doesn't crash often, but it crashes enough to be annoying.
One of those games.
Do you want me to start a different map?
I wish you'd start up the one we had saved, because we were so well established in that one. Hooray!
No, we've got to turn down the number of fucking wilderness creatures.
The thing is, again, I'm entirely fine with all except the fucking Castellans.
Yeah, it is nightmare.
Wasn't this entire game just you getting raped by robots, Argon?
Yes. Well, I'm happy to turn them down. It's on high at the moment, so I'll just put it on medium again. Because apparently medium was fine. But yeah, right. Another K-word pass, bud. There you go. Thank you very much. Brazilians taking up arms to deal with cartels is ineffectual, all tangled up with government and ex-police, right-wing death squads. But I like the cartels too, fucking hell. Question for Arch.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's just mental. Question for Arch. Ever heard of Sean Gilzatulin? He's a big fan of the Russian 40k community.
I can't say I have, not off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, that's someone to check out then, I suppose. To Arch, could a member of the Inquisition arrest a member of the Adeptus Custodes? Oh, it's got customer, but I'm sure that's not what he meant.
Custodes?
Yeah.
Well, technically, the Inquisition can arrest whoever the fuck they want, but considering the Custodes are, well, used to be literally stationed only around the innermost sanctum of the Imperial Palace, I doubt it. Like, it really then becomes a question of, who actually has the bigger dick in this equation?
What's the law reason for Nova cannons being inaccurate? Shouldn't the round break apart if it's travelling near light speed in a non-straight trajectory? And high rags.
Well, that's actually
partially
it. The Nova cannon is... Well, how do I put it? When you have something with that kind of level of force and functioning like that, expending that much energy to propel a projectile, you are very dependent upon that energy being both... How do I explain this in a halfway, cogent, not take half an hour away? If the energy is not correctly dissipated along the length of the weapon and organized to a sufficient degree, and then also, expelled from the weapon uniformly and properly, what happens is you have a quarter of a degree wrong on the exit there, and that'll send the shell flying millions of miles off. That is essentially the reason.
Okay, nerd.
Hey guys, what's up?
Both of you.
Unit.
Hey Mola, how's it going? We're streaming, so don't be aware that we're streaming.
Fucking,
Yeah,
that's illegal.
It's illegal.
Have you,
You're right.
Rags? Have you heard about what's happened about the Jenny Nicholson stream?
No, not yet. I guess not more.
Someone's posted it on Reddit, and apparently we're the representation now for a red-pilled anti-women stream.
Really? What did we say that was anti-women?
I don't even. I'm catching up on all of this because CJ just let me know. It's got like over 1.5k upvotes, and all the comments are about how like horrible politically we are, and I'm like, we don't even talk about politics.
Yeah, we don't even talk about politics in the stream.
I've
we
watched
don't even say
EFAP.
anything anti-woman in the stream.
I've watched EFAP like a lot. All you do is like call Movie Bob fat.
That's
Of
political
course,
now.
no one watches the fucking podcast. They just get it posted on their Reddit bubble by the person that they like, or like so whatever, and that's enough. They don't have to watch the podcast.
Yeah, but yes, Molly, we are live, so you're only getting one N-word.
Sweet. I'm gonna save it.
But yeah, Sargon, a bit of a we'll do a short session today because I'm
Alright.
gonna do something else.
Cool. Okay, man.
Oh, by the way, now that we have you here in front of all these people, RP Wednesday?
Probably.
Probably. Well, there you have it.
Probably. Ooh.
Well, I've got to check my schedule. I have to have one, man.
Right. Well,
But yeah,
I'll head
I'll
off.
check
So,
it. I'll check it after the thing. But no, I think so. I don't see. I don't think there's anything.
I love the embarrassed mumbling.
Well, it's because I can't remember. You know, I'm terrible. That's why I have Callum. I need Callum. Like otherwise, I wouldn't get like anything done.
Callum is legitimately your wrangler.
Yes, he wrangles me. He definitely does.
yeah, thanks for the game, and we'll definitely play some more.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Thanks, man.
See you guys.
Yeah. Take it easy.
Mm-hmm.
How was your time in Texas? Remember the Alamo and remember Goliad. Do you mean Gilead? But I'm not familiar with the Goliad thing. But we didn't get to go see the Alamo because I was out there working. I wasn't being a tourist. But
Well,
no,
at least
it
you
was-
remembered the Alamo.
Well, I was aware of it. But yeah, no, it was a really nice place. Everyone was really nice. Yeah, it was just generally like had quite a very laid back vibe to it actually. Yeah, everyone was pretty chilled out. Like literally everyone was just really chill. So it was like, yeah, it was good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really interesting. Hello Rags, says Dr. Martin Luther Pepe. Watch PSA friended, Sitchin friended, and what's her name? The I can't remember. Whatever it is. She's got 7,000 patrons. Like fucking hell, that's awesome, man. I like seeing people.
It's weird
succeed.
because her takes are just everything she said was wrong. Just like everything she said about the movie was just wrong or insane.
Bad. But she's
People
a
are
woman, so
ready
we're
to
in trouble now.
Oh, people are ready to white knight from a lady. I'll tell you that.
There's this exchange on the thread that says like, I can't believe they spent this long like ripping down women just because they have opinions on films, and someone responds like, no, they do it with everybody, and then the response to that is, oh, that makes it better.
Well,
like,
if anything, it's not because we're sexist.
Well, yeah.
Just being too critical is bad now. Right, okay. Interesting take.
It's just
Richard's-
they're basically just now an impromptu EFAP.
Yeah. I think that's nice though. It's just relaxed. What am I doing over here?
Dear me. So how does it feel being like the literal like anti-women? Are we going to talk about the femoids now?
Yeah,
Is this like the femoid cast?
How many we've covered? Literally, like, is it like 3 women Rags across all the episodes? I can't remember.
Yeah, not many. Sarah
And
Z.
Sarah Z's is one of the only positive ones that we've said like was actually relatively good. So
Yeah, her video was fine. Jenny's is one of the worst we've covered. Let me see who else.
it feels like it's like 2014 again. Like anti-woman. Like who says
You
that? anymore?
literally you can't criticize women. You just cannot
Yeah.
criticize a woman ever for anything.
But like, I haven't been called like a misogynist in ages. You know, like no one's bothered. Now it's far right, and it's oh really okay.
Yeah, it's either like they call you far right, they call you a Nazi, or they call you a transphobe.
Yeah. Conspiracy theorist was actually my favorite one because that's not like a moral failing, you know. So that's not I'm a bad person, you know, because that's what they're trying to do to you with these labels. It's label you as just a bad person. So, yeah, so
Excuse me, I prefer Building 7 enthusiast.
That's good. Anyway, Richard Spencer, CNN contributor and political pundit, has committed career suicide, unlike Jeffrey Epstein, who didn't either career or actual suicide. Yes, I tell you what, there's going to be some kind of reaction to this Epstein meme thing. Like they're going to start, because I'm seeing it around everywhere. For some reason, it's really fucking taken off.
I like him because it's like you can incorporate him into every other meme.
Yeah, very versatile.
Oh, that's a question I saw in the chat. Are you guys going to cover, or have you covered Lindsay Ellis on EFAP? I don't think you have you?
Nope.
Oh god.
But imagine what'll happen when we do that.
Man,
I
I really
think,
hate women.
To be fair, like, watching Lindsay Ellis's content is probably enough to make you hate women, especially that fucking abortion thing she did. Oh my god. Here, let me tell you how abortion's really about me.
Oh, we know it's about you.
She's an interesting one. I saw her XOXO talk, and like she's complaining that you know, you can say something on Twitter, people can take it out of context and use it against you to start screwing up your relationships and your job opportunities. And I was listening to it like,
welcome to the internet.
well, I was just like, isn't this like your team's whole thing?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, didn't you guys invent that?
You guys are cancel culture.
Yeah, it's like cancel culture isn't real. Also, this thing that is exactly cancel culture is bad.
Like, yeah, I'm on board with the idea that, like, yeah, if you say a joke on Twitter, it shouldn't really lead to you losing your job, but there are specific contexts to which maybe that's applicable, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, that's... and she was complaining about it like it's just an exclusive thing that happens when people on the right attack people on the left, and I was like, what? Since when?
She was basically saying that people criticizing her content gave her PTSD. It very much, again, it's like 2014. It very much felt like a woman on the internet had criticism given to her, and it shattered her entire world.
I was going to say that, but, like, let's just say that's 100% true, right? Like, that's how she experienced it, and that's what she got. I was like, can you imagine the amount of people that have had it on the other side? You know, I'm saying if we're going to open up the sympathy wagon for this sort of experience, then yeah, we're dealing with... I mean, you know, me and Rags are going to be more than prepared for this, but that whole thread spends massive effort calling us like the worst things on this planet, and you know, we'll just read through it and be like, well, it's not true, so we'll be fine.
We have, I mean, we really have.
We have a meme about what people have said about us.
You just can't criticize women, and they will come to the defense of her. The idea that there are people who are critical of their darling content creator is just a foreign concept to them.
Remember the whole...
I can't fathom it.
We had, like, there was other discussions on Reddit. I think this one's from Reddit, but they described our show as, you know, clearly run by twisted shells of men.
Jesus.
Yeah, like, they really think we're just subhuman scum.
All we do is talk about whether or not they're consistent. That's like our main thing. We're like, oh, wait, but you said this other thing. That doesn't match up with the thing you said here. Or, you know, you criticized the movie for this, but that doesn't happen in the movie. And that makes us twisted shells of men.
EFAP is so fucking mild.
Oh, like, yeah.
There's nothing particularly spicy about it. It's quite comfy. I describe it as quite a comfy podcast.
They're just not ready for that kind of enemy. They don't know what to do with it.
So they do what they do with everything else. Just label it as something and then dismiss it. Sexist, bigot, racist, all that stuff.
Holy shit. I don't like... The thing is, they are just projecting so hard. They're trying to be like, these people are obviously extremely angry and bitter and terrible, and they're doing all these things. It's like, but you just sat around and pointed out logical inconsistencies in the video.
Well, that's not allowed.
That's
if it's a woman, especially.
Yeah.
Whammon. I don't know, Sagan. I still remember the whole Sarkeesian VidCon thing with you that was great.
Oh, yeah.
The garbage people.
The whole thing is wild. I've said so many times, like, I don't think a lot of these people are actually bad people. I just think they're kind of like forced down a particular line of logic, and they kind of find themselves kind of forced into positions I think they otherwise would not hold. Like the abortion up to birth thing, man. You know that, like, there are going to be people who are forced to defend that ideologically because of how they're defining the terms, and you know there are going to be women who are like, if I thought about that for 5 seconds, I would think that was horrible, you know. But we've got to ask the real question here: are the English Germanic or a Roman nation? They're Germanic, and they have a kind of Roman esque layer on top. First ISIS.
Anglo-Saxon gang.
Yeah, basically. Yeoman, rise up. First ISIS, next the cartels for the Emperor. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if Donald Trump smashes them as well, I mean, when they're writing the history books, that's going to sound good. Like, people in 300 years' time are going to be like, oh, you got a lot of shit done, that's cool. You know, why? Look at all this interesting, there's media. But the thing is, because you're not enveloped in it, it'll just be numbers on a page. You won't get the experience of them constantly being fucking deranged about Donald Trump.
Hello, what's going on?
Hey,
Oh
man,
shit!
We're streaming at the moment, just so you know.
Oh,
We're having an EFAP dumping with Scrump crossover. It's great.
But yeah, hello. How are you doing, man?
very good. Went out to sushi today and it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good to hear. I just noticed. I've just got back from being really busy. You had a dumpling with Scrump without me.
Yes. Because you kept you abandoned us like 5 times, Scrump.
I've been busy. Yeah, it was dumping without Scrump. I was like, it was bound to happen eventually because I'm the least available person on this earth apparently.
Mhm.
No, I'll be there tomorrow. But yeah, there was. It's actually happened now. There's been a dumping with Scrump without Scrump.
We called it lounging with Lilith.
Hey, finally, I don't know. Like I thought it was gonna happen at some point, but I just thought it was funny. A lot of people ask me how did I get kicked off my own show.
Arch admitting he never wants BA balls in his mouth. Wow, what an omission. Have you guys seen the Diablo 4 cinematic trailer? I disavowed Blizzard and their business ethics, but goddamn if I'm not excited for the game. I did see the trailer. It was the 9-minute like mini movie thing for it was really quite good.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard the Blizzard cinematics are really, really good.
They are.
I also
generally.
played Diablo 3, which makes me less hyped for Diablo 4. So
Yeah, that is a very, very strong argument in that direction.
Well, they are claiming to go back to their Diablo 2 roots with this one, but who knows?
hey, if you want to go back to Diablo 2 roots, go play fucking Grim Dawn. Okay, that's a good game.
I'm not playing Blizzard games because of personal objection about China, and because honestly they don't make anything that looks good to me. That's the real reason. But it's
been a while, hasn't it?
China. Yeah.
They even managed to make Overwatch shit. That was fun at first, at least. And
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
it's
well,
been a long
this is
time
awful.
since I played Overwatch. I
Yeah,
used
it's
to
been a while
play
for me
it,
too.
but then I
Yeah.
was like,
I like the first year of it. I played it pretty consistently because it was fun back then, and now it's just not.
yeah, if Blizzard turns into a not shit company and adds movement acceleration like a proper fucking first person shooter, then yeah, maybe I might get back into it.
Well, don't worry about it because all the new heroes are only coming to Overwatch 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they already went back on that promise that they.
Yeah, I was just
they made
about
at
to
BlizzCon.
ask you that I heard that.
So you're gonna have to explain that one to me. I don't play Overwatch.
Okay, so at BlizzCon on Friday, they announced Overwatch 2. And Overwatch 1 is primarily it's only an online game. It's like Team Fortress 2, right? You just queue up and you play matches. And you get like a 6v6 or whatever. And it's only that, so it's very much like an esports kind of competitive style game. But everyone kept saying we want a story mode. And eventually they said, okay, Overwatch 2, story mode. It has a fully fledged story mode campaign with all of the little bits of lore in Overwatch 1 just being the backstory for Overwatch 2. And they also said, okay, Overwatch 2 is also going to have the entire Overwatch 1 online experience in Overwatch 2. And all of your skins and all of your emotes, all of your unlocks will carry over, as will all of the new characters added to Overwatch 1 over time. Everything from your account carries over to Overwatch 2. So on the one hand, that means, and also Overwatch 2 players are also going to be playing on the same maps as Overwatch 1 with Overwatch 1 players. For online, it's the same game. So on the one hand, that means that if you're buying Overwatch 2, you're basically paying for a story mode.
Yeah.
It's like there's the joke out there that a lot of times sequels are basically just DLC for the first game, but this is like an actual DLC for the first game.
Yeah,
It is.
apparently it uses the same install files as the first game as well. For a
Well,
lot of the things.
it's gotta, like, if everyone plays together, they gotta be
Yeah.
loading up the same assets and everything.
So well, hold on, because there's more to the story though. Because on the one hand, the criticism was, well, you're just buying a story mode, and everything else carries over, and you can play together. So if you want the story mode, fine. Otherwise, just stick with Overwatch 1. There's no reason to buy it. And then as soon as BlizzCon ended, they turned around and said, oh, by the way, we actually lied about that, and Overwatch 2 is going to have a bunch of new heroes that are only coming to Overwatch 2. It's like, well,
by the way, we just lied about that. What were the literal words? Just out of interest.
I got to find it, but it wasn't that. It was just that, like, in an interview, somebody asked, okay, so there's like a black girl who's missing an arm, and she was the new character they announced at BlizzCon. It's like, will this person be available in Overwatch 1? And they said no, even though they had said yes during the pre-show. So they just said no, actually they're not. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
The gist of it is they're basically dropping support for Overwatch and making you buy Overwatch 2 to continue to play the game you were already playing.
Yep.
I wouldn't
And
be
if-
surprised
Thanks, Blizzard.
if it was impacted by, because their stocks were not great afterwards. They
Mhm.
were down a bit. I guess shareholders weren't really. I guess they were concerned that people weren't going to buy the new stuff, or that the new stuff was too far away. So I'm wondering if this is a response to that, or they're like, oh well, in that case, then, you know.
I think Blizzard needed a big rally on their stocks with BlizzCon. I think it's going to be a bit of a slow decline with them. They don't really have a lot to offer. I don't understand what Blizzard is offering to people.
At this point, it's just Diablo 4, because Overwatch 2 looks more of the same, and the new World of Warcraft expansion looks like garbage. So it's just
Yeah.
Diablo 4.
What is it with Blizzard and keeping like these exactly the same game engine and assets limping on for like a decade? Like, WoW looks awful now, and I know they've done some sprucing up and done a bit to it, but it's still that same base engine, and it still looks just so outdated. Like, I don't understand why they can't just develop something new.
I think because like a lot of the old world is still in that engine from 2004, and they don't want to go back and remake like every continent, because they have like 8 continents in the game now that all have to be
I know, it's
remade.
just like Blizzard hasn't made anything new really since Overwatch. That was the last new idea they actually had.
The worst part about it is that they own Lost Vikings, and they'll never do anything with it.
Oh god, that is a bit depressing. We'll never
Like,
get another full-fledged Warcraft game either.
Yeah, I mean, I keep like in Overwatch and in World of Warcraft, they keep putting in like Lost Vikings cameos, and it's like, well, you're never actually making a new Lost Vikings game, so why do you keep doing this to us?
Right, I'm going on with these. Manifest Destiny 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Sorry.
Oh god.
Sorry to hear your friend V suffered a massive woke and was left dribbling in the corner, claiming he liked the new Whaminator, Terminator.
Oh
movie.
no!
Well, I haven't seen it. I didn't say the movie was bad.
It is though.
Oh shit! I shouldn't have
Yeah.
said this. I haven't.
He just has no taste.
Well, the Rotten Tomatoes audience score is actually really positive, so there must be something to it that someone.
Yeah, because like 5 people saw it.
I guess V just appreciated the feminist perspective of it. I don't know. I haven't asked them about it.
They have Sarah Connor complain that the universe wants her womb instead of her, and like it's cringy as fuck.
That is cringe. Don't get me wrong, but like
She tells the new savior of the humanity, it's like, it's not about you, it's about your son.
Yeah.
It's just your womb they want. It's like, what?
that's a pretty
Okay.
heavy feminist analysis, to be honest.
It's really sad because Sarah Connor is like fucking super important for what makes John who he is, and now
Yeah.
she's like all passive aggressive about the fact that apparently she's not important. I was like, how could you conclude that?
Isn't your womb an intrinsic part of you, though?
But like, what about she raises him? So
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could take like the womb out of somebody, right? And they'd still be like a person.
She's a crotchety grandma in that film, and it sucks.
Oh. All right.
So is the sequel just going to be her getting a hysterectomy?
I don't think we're getting sequels. The film's
sequel's
flopped
getting
hard.
The sequel got the lobotomy, so
Haven't they lost over 100 million already on it?
at least
Between 110 and
the projection
130.
is 130 million lost.
Oh, jeez.
That's
That's what you
a
get
lot.
when you fucking shotgun John Connor in your opening.
You get what you fucking deserve, Mauler.
You get what you deserve.
I tell you what, man,
Oh.
Joker, that is a fucking amazing line at the moment.
It's a great film. I really enjoyed
It's a
it.
great film, yeah.
But the line really has like resonance, you know.
Careful defending it,
does.
though. You don't want to be a sexist
Yeah,
or
well,
racist. Tell.
Boy, they killed that narrative fast.
Yeah, we really are at the point where, I mean, we've been there
Peak
for a while,
incel.
but our crime is criticizing a woman with stuff that we can back up and explain in great detail.
it's,
Yeah, but she's a woman.
yeah, but it's just that they literally come out and go, "This is an incel film," and it's now the highest grossing R-rated film ever, right? So that's like peak incel. Like that's the public love incel. Like they will pay
Yeah.
money for incel. It's like fucking
gonna
hell.
say-
The feminists must be terrified. So many people are consuming incel culture.
It's fine, Regs. I'm an incel transphobe because I have sex with trans women, so. Ah, Twitter. I don't
But
miss
anyway.
it.
Imperium of America, God hell the God Emperor. Big Man Tyrone has started a migrant party. Total SJW talking points, etc. E.g. immigrants do all the work. He wants more rights and help for immigrants. What?
Wait,
it's-
what?
Big Man Tyrone has started a migrant party. Total SJW talking points. I have not heard anything of this. So
Big Man Tyrone, why have you
I
abandoned
assume
this?
someone paid him to do a video in which he said something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
probably.
Yeah, and it's been misinterpreted. Thanks, Nige. Have you guys read Anarchy, State, and Utopia? No, but I have heard the title. Been reading other things. I've just finished Fukuyama's one. It's really good. Fucking eye-opening. Vampire Masquerade this week? Yeah, I think so. I think I'm free tomorrow.
Yes.
We should put them into a penal legion and send them to fight the Mexican cartels. Not sure who them is now out of this context, but like, yes.
Is it the royal them?
Yeah. I don't know who it is, but okay, penal legions. Subduing Mexican cartels. ISIS should be sent to a Turkish prison. Actually, I mean,
Yes.
you'd say probably Syrian or Iraqi prisons.
Begun the Bean Wars have.
Yeah. Thanks, Calamati. Appreciate that. Really enjoyed your interview with Alistair Williams earlier. Top notch as always. Yeah, he's really like he's funny and like it's happened to him. He had a joke go viral and now he's like blacklisted. And it's like what? There's a joke about Theresa May.
No, cancel culture doesn't exist. It's not a thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a thing apart from all of these.
That's
cancel
what's one of the
people.
things that Jenny Nichols said in her thing. She brought up, like for no reason, she brought up like Todd Phillips in the interview saying that he didn't want to do comedies anymore because so many people are don't let you make jokes and stuff like that. And she brought that up in the review, and one of her points was that the Joker character, his jokes aren't good because that's Todd projecting the fact that he's not actually funny into the movie.
Okay.
Like some really, really fucking bizarre galaxy brain takes by Jenny Nichols.
Yeah,
and then-
it's
and then-
bizarre.
Then she would like criticize the themes for being inconsistent that she's generated from like her insane interpretation. She's like, "This is the theme, but it doesn't make sense because of blah blah blah." And you're like, "What? What are you doing?" There's
like-
definitely a moment of like, "Honey, calm down," because she like gets it to the point where she says, "Is the film trying to say you shouldn't take medication?"
Calm down, Karen.
Yeah, man, she's like nuts. She was going crazy. She was in theme delirium.
We've not seen it as serious as that. Yeah.
It's probably terminal.
The thing is that everyone was so desperate for the Joker to have this overarching message, and it really fucking doesn't.
It's
It
just
has
it's so it's just like be nice to people, take care of the mentally ill. That's basically the theme of the movie. It's really obvious, everyone gets it. That's why audiences adore this film, and it's making so much money. It's nice, simple message we can all get behind. It's not like a Galaxy Brain movie where you have to be super smart and understand film critique or go to school.
Had to
or
have
have a degree or
seen
anything.
100 movies
Yeah.
from before 1950.
It's got some nice cinematography.
Incel.
It's got some memorable scenes,
It's
and it's got a pretty cool ending, and that's why people like it.
it's a good story, well told, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
For
simple
sure,
story.
yeah. And God, have we missed those? Just stories, like just a story that's told without like
Yeah, irony.
fucking nonsense.
Without fucking irony. That's what I hate about this postmodern crap. It's like everything is ironic, man. Like nothing is sincere anymore, and it's like, you can't enjoy it. They don't enjoy it. They don't enjoy life, man. That's what this nihilistic shit is. Like I hate.
Oh, well,
fucking, I hate that. You know, the t-shirt's like ironic. Like I hate myself and want to die on a t-shirt. It's like, oh, you fucking insufferable millennial. Sorry.
But I'm a millennial, Sargon.
What was it?
I'm pretty sure I am by the way it
Millennials
works,
are
right?
super broad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but obviously
is.
I'm talking about a stereotype. Don't get offended.
Just like how boomer is a state of mind, not an
Yeah.
actual age.
Exactly.
Well,
Oh,
to be fair,
I got a lot of hate for my OK Boomer video. Jesus.
What happened with it?
Did you criticize a woman?
I criticized both millennials and boomers equally,
Oof.
and then a bunch of
No, pick a
millennials were
side.
really angry.
Hey, Rags and Chaz also we live in a jibiety.
in
Jibiety.
a jibiety. I
Jeb
love the
lives in
Jeb
a
meme.
Jeb Bush has become like a strong mascot of EFAP after that stream.
I love that the Jeb memes are still a thing, and they're still funny.
Every
My
frame
favorite
of
one was
Jeb.
the Jeb poster for Joker was just
Yeah, it's great.
such a perfect meme.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop out. Have fun, gents. It was nice having a chat.
Cool.
Have a good
See you
one.
later, man.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Tea is just leaf soup.
That's true.
It's
Until the addition of milk.
Mm.
and it becomes cereal, yeah.
I can't believe we've got this kind of asinine classification system going on. Soup is a closed store. Come on, that doesn't make sense. High side.
I like it how
rags.
I like how we're sat here talking about tea soup and fucking tea
Yeah.
cereal, and apparently we are like the hardcore Nazi woman haters on the internet.
Totally.
Has anyone ever watched any of like our content at all?
No.
When I
they
see
can't.
these takes, I'm just like, have you guys watched this? It's like I don't want to undersell it, but like half the time we're just kind of fucking idiots. I mean, ramble.
Yeah.
how do you like Sargon? I like you, but how do people think you're dangerous?
I don't know.
You can't run. You can't like open a Discord without like 10 different instructions from Discordia.
Yeah.
The
Way
world
more
is
than
safe
that.
from Sargon.
Yeah, I'm not interested in like hurting anyone, obviously.
No, it's ridiculous. I don't get how this like group of people became such a fucking boogeyman.
Well, I can't believe that we're talking about Nazis fucking this many years after they were defeated, man. Like, unironically, like how is this Nazis? What? Like, there are fuck all Nazis around, dude.
Scrump and Rags, you must have seen that Richard Spencer video at this point, right?
Yes, of course we
He's
have.
angry.
Jesus. It's
I've seen the
amazing.
memes of it. The memes are great. The memes are all great.
And now it seems that a lot of the the small time lefties on Twitter are actually turning on CNN and stuff for even having him on it. It's like, yes, cancel CNN finally.
Purity spiring. You gotta love it.
Good. You
But-
guys definitely don't need a competitor to Fox News. Go for it. Fucking do it.
What would the wise sage V say? He'd be like, no, these are the rules that they set. They have to be, they have to live by them, and that's fair.
Then he'd probably just talk about like throwing cats at rugs to steal them from balconies. But
Well, I mean, that's a clever trick.
real Romanian hours. I can't believe he likes that movie though. I'm gonna have
How
to
is
sit
Ro-
that boy down.
How is Romania, Scrump?
It's like, I don't know. In the summer, it's like Italy, but shit.
Right.
In the
Well,
winter.
In
sorry,
the
go
winter,
ahead.
it's just shit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I was thinking. Actually, it's quite run down in a lot of places, but it also has a lot of like all of its infrastructure is really new. So it's this very strange mix of decaying Sovietness and like sprawling, modern, very Western-looking shopping centers.
Merkel can do everything Adolf couldn't, and she can do it in heels. See, women. That's like, what if Merkel achieves it? Like the total occupation of Europe by Germany. Like fucking hell.
Well, you have to give her a real shot at it, Sargon, because as we all know, real Nazism has ever been tried.
Well, I guess
That's true.
It's true. Yeah. But seriously though, like the
Nazism.
Not
extension,
real Nazism.
the fucking extension on the Brexit thing. Everyone was like, oh no, Boris's deal even. Sorry, everyone was basically like, oh, you're gonna have to offer something better than that, and it was down to Merkel to make the fucking decision. It's like, there we go. That's the fucking power behind the throne. Fucking, it really pisses me off, man. It's transparent. Anyway, Proud Boys in NYC acted in self-defense after having a projectile thrown at them. Cheers, Sargon. Yeah, that's one side, but the other side is saying that the video shows that the bottle was thrown after the charge. But to be honest with you, I'm not condemning the Proud Boys for this. It's like both sides had come for a fight, so it doesn't matter who started it. You were both there to fight. But it is important that if laws are broken and the law is applied fairly to both sides, and both sides are getting the same sort of legal treatment. So that's good news. China is right about Islam. Oof. Did you ever watch that Michael Monroe college vid? Or Marino college vid? I don't remember offhand. I apologise. If we want to be sticklers for how we treat people who broke the law, the last I checked, we executed literal traitors, which is what they would legally be. Yeah.
Where's that?
The ISIS question. I mean, is it not treason? Like, are they not? Is it not betrayal? Like, it seems that
I guess it's who they end up fighting against.
Is it? Well, I mean,
Like,
Well,
oh yeah, like I guess if you renounce your citizenship and leave the country to go fight for some enemy force, I guess it depends whether or not that enemy force fights the country,
Yeah.
or if maybe if it fights a different country, it isn't treason per se.
but ISIS are.
ISIS are though, so yeah, that'd fit.
Well,
yeah. That would fit.
I think just using treason has kind of fallen out of style because there's a real slippery slope there. Like you can go from that to like criticism of your country being treason pretty quickly. So I think it's just fallen out of style. People don't like to use it.
I don't know. I think there's a reasonable line between criticizing the country and betraying the country to the enemy, like to join the enemy. Like,
Well, sure, but like in Rags' example, he said that if you give up your citizenship, well, then you give up your citizenship. You're not like it's not treason anymore. You're an enemy now. Like you're the citizen of a different country. You know.
Yeah, you're an enemy when you start fighting against the country that you left.
If you still hold citizenship of it, though. Like if I left Canada and moved to the States and became an American and gave up my Canadian citizenship, and then America went to war with Canada, would I be a traitor?
no, because you didn't do it in a time of war. But if you do it during the time of war, if you defect to the enemy, yeah, that's being a traitor, isn't it? Like, imagine if a bunch of German units on the front were just like, oh, we're going to join the British and fight for them. What? In the middle of the battle? You'd be like, you fucking traitors!
I mean,
Yeah, that's treachery. Is it? Is it not?
well, yeah, that's treason, but that's because they would be German units, right? Like if German civilians,
Well, it's German
kind of a
civilians.
different thing.
We'll go work for the British. It's like, what? That's like,
See, I don't know.
we're
I
bombing
don't.
their cities to break their factories. Like, you're going
I
to go
don't-
work in those factories.
I don't necessarily believe that there should be like this huge impetus on regular citizens to be especially loyal to their country. Like it's a good thing if they are, but there shouldn't be like a legal punishment if you're not. I don't think.
There shouldn't be a legal punishment if you're not loyal.
There should
to
be a
your
legal
country.
punishment for betraying your country. Dev 2019.
Hold on, no.
And with that, I'm gonna duck out. I need
Is
to
that not what you meant, Dev?
Here's what I mean. Like when you get the open borders activists
Why?
talking about opening up, the southern border in the states and just letting all the illegals in. I don't think you could charge them with treason just because they have completely retarded ideas.
Well, it sounds treasonous.
Well, I think it's the act of open combat against the original country, really.
I mean, it doesn't sound good. Like, literally, if a bunch of activists come out and say, hey, I'm going to try and undermine our country's borders.
I agree.
I mean, I have questions, Like,
Yep.
why? What's wrong with you? Seriously, why is this the thing that you're thinking about? Like, we need to just open these borders. Why? There's bad things going on in the third world. Well, there'll still be bad things going on in the third world if our borders are open or closed. So how about we not open them?
Oh
We
God,
get
the
same
chat room.
result.
Chat room. I'm not saying treason's fine. No, it's more like okay.
It's just like the criminal classification of what action is what.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like I can recall. I mean, not off the top of my head, but I know that this has happened definitely before, where like insurrections have happened against governments, and they've been considered treasonous, and yet the government they were overthrowing really needed to be overthrown. And it's like, well,
that's because the history is written by the victors.
Yeah.
The people who got overthrown were deserving of this because the people who did the overthrowing wrote the history book.
Well, there's definitely instances where they actually did impose or bring into power a better government. I mean, I think Sargon, you said yourself that if you were alive during the time of the American Revolution, you'd probably be on the side of the Americans because the king at the time was not that great.
It's not that he was like a terrible king. It was I just agree with the ideals.
Yeah. No, it's just I think that there should be some pathway to be like, you know what, my state is terrible to the point that I can't support it anymore, and I don't necessarily see that as treasonous,
No, yeah, it's fair. Did we talk about Project Veritas already? Yes, we did. Sorry.
I didn't see that. I've been at sushi all day, so.
Oh right. Well, it's very eye-opening. Just this ABC anchor woman who's just talking about the Epstein stuff on the hot mic, and it's the complete, like works of everything that's come out basically. And they had it like 3 years ago, and the network quashed it because of pressure from like big names around Epstein, basically, and the palace intervening on behalf of Prince Andrew, which is the big thing about it. And so it's it's actually like 500,000 tweets on Twitter trending in the UK. So like you can't really ignore this, and like this is a big deal. Palace is going like court suppressing stories that suggest that the prince might be involved with a convicted pedo. Well, that's massive, man. That's like.
Actually, yeah, this super chat here is kind of what I'm getting at. Are Hong Kong protesters treasonous to China?
Well, the Chinese government says yes, which means that this stream could be monetized in China.
I gotta look that up though. I like
yeah.
the Project Veritas guys. They do good stuff.
Yeah, this is incredibly vital work, actually. I can't believe some of the stuff that's come out. It's been great. I've really enjoyed the stuff they push, because it's just like, I love the Van Jones Nothing Burger thing, and I love how that caught on. You know. So I've refreshed this page, so I'm just looking for the. Oh fucking hell! There's loads.
Just out of curiosity, Sargon, did you feel personally attacked by Richard Spencer's rant?
No, not at all. I thought it was hilarious.
I thought you were 1/8 black.
1/4, I think. Well, not like
1/4.
Like, like, I don't know, somewhere from Africa.
As soon as he said Octoroon, I was like,
Yeah, well, that's
Jesus.
I posted on Desmond Tracy on Facebook, so I can't believe I got a shout out in Richard Spencer's sociopathic rant. I'm so privileged.
It's so strange to think that you're more black than Sean King.
Anyone's more black than Sean King. Elizabeth Warren is more black than Sean King. Like,
I'm more native than she is, and I'm 1/16.
The real Martin Luther Pepe.
right. Fucking. I don't know where the fucking beginning of this is. Right, here we go. Right, so we've got a lot of these to get through, so I'm just going to go through them quickly. My brother watched the new Terminator and said it was decent, worth a ticket anyway. He said the trailer poisoned the well. Right, that's interesting. But because that's the thing, the Rotten Tomatoes score is actually really good. So the film itself might have been like well executed and well cut, and then the trailer like politically cut, so the feminists will see it and use it as a thing in the culture war. But this has, so they can write articles about it to promote it and things like this. I have a funny feeling it's like an attempt to cynically manipulate the press, basically, because of the identity politics angle that gets loads of coverage. And it's amazing they just do all of this cultural writing over things that are just not important at all. Palpatine was still alive in the Legends, not new. I did not know this. Problem with the US military is it takes a few smearful op-eds to get bleeding heart politicians to dip their old balls on the issue and politicize the thing of optics of openly pacifying civilians are bad. Yeah, the media makes the military's job a lot more difficult. That is true. And from the position of the military, that's bad. Can we trust bust Disney like the good old Roosevelt days? I actually don't know, but Disney's quite a terrifying monster at this point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Disney is basically pop culture at this point, and it's like, fucking hell, man. It's legitimately crazy how much, like, of children's entertainment hours, just this raw hours, is in the West. It's controlled by Disney. It's fucking terrifying.
Like, everything will just get absorbed by it's like the freaking black goo from Little Nemo.
It'll keep
rolls over everything and consumes them.
It'll buy up franchises and homogenize them all. So eventually it's the globo homo culture that's just projected in all culture all around the world. So there's just no option in any mainstream outlet.
Well, they haven't made any inroads into Japanese games or anime, so we'll just have to stay there, I guess.
Fucking shitlord fucking weebs. Terrorizing people on the internet.
The weebs will save us, it turns out.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think they've got it in them. I'm sorry. I don't mean to doubt the weebs, but
yeah, I'd hate to doubt the weebs,
I'm just teasing.
I'm sure the weebs are great.
And the weebery is just the capital crime of the highest order.
Weebery.
Yeah, it's an old English phrase for it. Sounds like
Be
it, doesn't
gone with thou weebery. Get the hints.
it? By annexing Mexico, we could solve issues, sending them north as immigrants and convince them to speak English because you can't conquer and be PC. No comment. Rags, you guys didn't read my super chat EFAP59, which is bring Sargon on already, you cowards. And opinion on the Watchmen TV show, also hi Rags.
Oh, hello.
Watchmen TV show, in a word.
I haven't seen it.
Same.
Right, okay. Since we already have a new Mexico, if the United States annexes the old Mexico, shouldn't it be renamed Mexico Classic? Actually, I think Old Mexico sounds cool.
Yeah, where's New Mexico, Old Mexico, and there you go.
Yeah, Old Mexico
Takes
sounds
care of that.
badass. Sounds authentic, you know.
Do you want to rename York Old York, Sargon? Since we have New York.
I'd be happy with that.
Hmm.
Things in like Britain tend to be respected because of their age. Big inheritors of tradition. So like anything old is treated with a great deal of respect, generally.
I mean, Canada's got New Hyde Park. You can always go with Old Hyde Park.
Yeah, but you could put old behind on ahead of any of it. It'd sound pretty cool, I think. You mean the American expedition to Mexico to catch Pancho Villa, which failed and was an embarrassment for the US for the reason why they banned weed? I don't know. I'm afraid I've not done that much reading about like American-Mexican relations historically. Although it does sound interesting, I really should do. It's more about time than interest.
Didn't they have like a rather large war in the 1800s?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Oh no! Apparently, Batwoman is in risk of being canceled after one season. Oh no! I want to go forever. Oh no! I ironically love to watch it because it's so terrible.
Rags, Mike. It's just like my career.
Oh my gosh!
I
don't know if anyone's been watching our EFAPs on our EFAP minis on each Batwoman episode when they come out each week. Dear fucking God. That show is the worst show that I've ever seen. We love it. Yeah. We can't wait for each new episode.
Man, I really wish I had the time because I love watching all this sort of stuff. I love shitposting in the chat when it's going on. You know, I've been like when I'm stuck in airports and stuff. I'll listen to these things. It's been great. From good old New Hampshire. Wait, no, it's got to be good New Hampshire. I'm afraid we've got the old Hampshire. Boy, let's get on these gun-toting deplorables, MS-13, and the rest of the cartels. Yeah, basically. Fucking wipe them out now and then worry about it later. Arch, playing Necrons in my first tourney this week. Wish me luck. Oh, he's gone now, sorry. God Emperor Trump will become a worldwide paranoia propaganda. If Trump fights the cartels, they will cry invasion and mass genocide, even if it is to destroy 9 multi-billionaire cartels. You think so? Think they'll cry invasion and genocide? If the Mexican government invites, if Mexican president takes Trump up on the offer to destroy the cartels, will the left be like, no, cartels good?
Honestly, probably. At this point.
Yeah. Well, you know what they said about MS-13, man? They've already defended MS-13.
Did you see that Kickstarter comic that got banned because MS-13 was the villain?
Yeah, I did see that.
What?
Holy shit. And they sent him an email, and it was like, sorry, but this is a racist comic, and you can't have it on Kickstarter.
What? Really?
Yeah. He's like an indie comics guy.
All Mexicans are MS-13. I mean, that's like saying all Muslims are ISIS.
Aren't they?
No.
I know.
Like that's that is actually horrifically bigoted. This is wild.
I think Mexico kind of needs Trump's help at this point, don't they? Because wasn't there a battle a few weeks ago where the Mexican army engaged MS-13 and lost?
Oh, was there? I haven't followed it.
Yeah, they like sent the troops in with as much power as they could muster, and MS-13 actually won the fight.
Well, yeah, it sounds like they really need the Americans' help then. So, like, the first thing they should do is be asking for help. If they're not even winning battles against MS-13. No question. Arch, bring back the Salt Cowan saga when you're going to meet up in Oklahoma City. Also, hi, Rags.
Hello.
I am not going back to America until sometime next year, I would imagine, because I've traveled there a lot this year and I'd like to stay home now.
Can't wait to get back.
Yeah, it'll be fun, but like, it's the traveling that does me in, man.
Yeah, traveling shit. Being there is great. Getting there is it's awful.
Yeah. Honestly, it's exactly how I feel about it. Like, and everywhere I go as well is generally quite good. Yes.
I got the story here. Yeah, the Mexican army captured El Chapo's son. The cartels attacked their position. The army lost, and they took his son back.
That explains the next super chat, which is the Mexican cops should have executed El Chapo's son when they had the chance. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about the situation, but I don't think just summary execution by cop is actually wise. But I mean, I don't know the situation, so yeah. Don't know.
You guys ever see what was that? The drug cartel movie that came out number of years back. Sicario?
Rings a bell.
It's really, the first one is really, really good. I would highly suggest that if you haven't seen Sicario, do it. It's a 2015 movie. Yeah, really, really, really good movie.
Some say the chaos of the bums of 40k. Thoughts? I think they're the postmodernists of 40k. They deconstruct everything, and yet still are somehow space marines. Did you see the Epstein Limerick challenge on Twitter? I didn't see it on Twitter, but I did see it around. Also, yes, approve. I think it's hilarious culture jamming, and something that the establishment surely can't really react to. And if they do, who are they attacking? You know, like, go on, just say or do something. That's basically a big fucking public taunt. It's like, we know you're harboring this, and the fucking Project Veritas videos of the palace intervening. Fuck. Like, credible allegations.
I'm scrolling through the backlogs here. What's this about Jim getting his unused channel demonetized?
Yeah. He says he's had his channel demonetized. Apparently,
That's not good.
no.
I didn't know it wasn't monetized at all. I thought it was against that.
Yeah, he used to be, but to be honest with you, I think it's an unreasonable standard anyway.
Mm.
And as someone who has been demonetized, I feel your pain, Jim.
Yeah. I really do wish. I don't take any pleasure in hearing that from other content creators. I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing unprincipled. There's nothing, that makes you lesser because you want to make money for your work. That's a very fair thing to ask.
It's the only way to do it professionally.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a professional.
Nothing wrong with being a professional. Not a filthy amateur. Filthy casual.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically it. Fuck, what am I even doing here?
Well, does demonetization even hurt him if he's not uploading to the channel anymore?
Well, residual views on older videos.
No, there's no videos anymore. He nuked the channel. I think he just
Yeah.
streams on it. So maybe no super chats, but
Oh. Oh
Might
yeah,
be it.
well I guess a lot of people would want to give him super chats. That could be a pretty big impact.
Yeah.
But still, just if he had kept up all of his videos, the residual views are, those get tallied up every month.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And you could make, it's a fair amount. I mean, depending on your backlog and how what your videos are about, if they're not like time specific or news related or stuff like that, then some videos can go for years and years.
Yeah, I know there are people who have like channels with 30,000 videos on them spanning the past 10 years or more. And even if they stopped uploading, they'd still be getting a paycheck every month. It's pretty big just from residual
from-
hits. Yeah.
Clicks to click. You just get most of them up front, but they're always there.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube has an
Right.
issue of not letting people know sometimes through emails and stuff whenever there's like a copyright claim or a video gets demonetized that's older, because sometimes it'll just randomly happen.
Right,
So
let me carry on. Dems try to impeach each Republican president since Reagan. I don't know if they have, but it sounds like something they'd do. Ever been an actual slave? I have. It was in Canada. 8 years of trying to get help from Canadian government and Icelandic government, no results. But then again, I'm a guy and we can't be sexually abused, allegedly. Shit, man. That's awful.
that does sound really terrible, man.
Yeah, it's pretty rough, but I'm honestly not surprised with he said Canada. I'm not surprised with Canada at all at that point.
Yeah, I can't say I'm terribly surprised these days either. Speaking of the Messages for Men thing in December as well. So I need to think about what I want to talk about there. The men's rights guys, they've got real points these days, man. There's like a legit cause there. I can totally see why the Zoomers are fucking furious. Like the Nick Fuentes lot, like I can totally see why they're angry.
Nick the Bleeder Fuentes.
Yeah, not
The
him
leader.
himself, but like the generation, sort of
Yeah, yeah.
conservative Zoomers. Like, the SJWs have taught them to see the world entirely in terms of race, and then they're like, well, what about the white people? It's like, yeah, you're going to be a minority. It's like, well, we can't have that. Even if they themselves are not racist, they still think of the world in terms of race in the same way the SJWs do. Like, it's not good or bad. It's just that's what it is. And so it's just like,
I think it might be bad.
well, yeah, okay, it is bad, yeah. But, like, I know it might not be that bad, but it is bad. But the thing is, they have a legitimate grievance, because this is what the SJWs have done. This is what we've been trying to be like, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad for the last 5-6 years now. Like,
Yeah.
and now it's here, the consequence of that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last night, and I said something along the lines of the conservative Zoomers will be a lot easier to de-radicalize than the SJWs, though.
I mean, at least you can set firm goals, like build the wall.
At least they'll fucking talk to you for starters.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're not assholes.
So that's a nifty, nice little starting point that they'll have a discussion. And I don't think they're not as based on what I've seen at least. Their positions don't seem to be emotionally held ones. They seem to be a lot more pragmatic. Like their concerns.
I think a few of them are quite deep and emotional ones, though. I think
I do think the base of that though is legitimate, issues that could pop up, and I think they would be more open to alternative solutions.
Yeah, as long as you're taking steps in the right direction, sort of thing.
Yes.
And it's honestly, it's the open border stuff. It's the fucking open border stuff. It's a genuinely
I'm with them there.
it's an irresponsible policy, is what it is. That's what I hear about the most. It's like, what are you going to do? What's going to let literally millions of people in? What do you mean? Like, for how long? Well, just 20 years. I don't know. Like, why? Like, do you not think you're going to be inviting a lot of problems in with that? Like, just speculatively. Like, for anywhere. Fuck's sake.
So the chat is informing me that the super chats were running on Jim's stream, but YouTube refuses to give them the money. They're just keeping the money for themselves.
Oh.
So he's not getting the AdSense payout? That's terrible. That's like,
yeah,
you
but like
they can't.
even like the super chat portion, like the ads are gone, and YouTube's just keeping the super chats that he gets. So there's $4,000 in super chats that just vanish into YouTube's pockets.
I mean,
That's like
that's nothing.
That's
to
wild.
YouTube,
that can't be
but,
legal.
like, yeah, that's illegal.
That's
That's
totally
wild,
illegal.
though.
He needs to
Jesus.
he needs to do something, man. More power to him if he can get that done. He needs to. If anything, I'm totally behind him if he does something because we need to like set a
Yeah.
precedent.
Well, there is Yoey Sprague and the YouTube Union.
He needs to hit them up, man.
This strikes me as exactly the kind of thing one would use a union for.
I wonder
I mean-
what Google's defense of that would be.
Yeah, $4,000 in what is known to be a part exchange of direct donation. So, like, what is it, 70% to the YouTuber and 30% to YouTube? Like,
It's like Patreon just not allowing you to
yeah.
make a
Well,
payout.
That is what happened.
Like, for example, when people get kicked off Patreon, right, the Patreon just pays out whatever's left in their balance and doesn't charge any more cards, right? So you get exactly what you are owed and no one else is charged for anything, right? That's the sensible way of doing it, because then you've not got an aggrieved party apart from the person that can't use the platform, but they've been paid what they were owed, so, you know, you
Speaking
can't
of which,
say
I need
anything.
to
You know,
withdraw my fucking Patreon money because fuck.
Yeah,
I'll
but
trust it.
that's sensible, you know. But the way that YouTube's doing it, that's weird.
I'm sure they just justify it by saying he's alt-right or something.
Yeah, he's such and such, so therefore the laws don't apply to us because he's mean.
Right, okay. Our offer for Britain to become an American colony still stands. Well, I mean, I'm not ruling it out or anything. You're going to have to ask the palace. Britain and America have the same problem. We distinguish UK, US citizens with people who are American or British. AOC citizen, Tulsi Trump American. Swinson citizen, Boris British. That's true, actually. I think the sort of progressive citizen middle classes are the product of the sort of reason-only education. And if you think about it, like, you used to have like education and character as well, you know, and that's been taken away, and now it's just like your rights and nothing else. If you think about that, that's normally quite a small that should be quite a small part of your education, really. So look, the state hasn't got any right to do this, this, and this to you. Okay, right, carry on. This is how you be a good person or a decent person or something like that. I don't know. There should be something. But anyway, while we're still talking about annexing, make Northern Ireland a US territory. No more issues between the EU and Britain over the Irish border. I don't think they're going to agree to that. Wexit, Alberta and I can't. SAAK, Dev, hands up for that.
Wexit is a movement that's currently going nowhere in Canada. It's going.
What's Wexit?
Yeah.
Basically, British Columbia and the Prairies all voted Conservative because Justin Trudeau and basically any left-leaning party in Canada, they all basically ignore those areas. So they all voted Conservatives, and they're the main reason that Trudeau lost his majority. That and the Quebec separatists rising up in Quebec. These are all places that the Liberals like to ignore. And as soon as Justin Trudeau basically got back into office and he became prime minister, I mean, it's a minority government, but he's still prime minister. He basically said he's going to be doing more of the same. He's going to continue to ignore them. So now there's separatist movements everywhere in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Because Trudeau
Always
and
good sign.
the Liberals and the NDP just do not give a fuck about anything outside of Ontario.
That's ballsy. Fuck no. Imagine if those conservative provinces joined the US. That would massively strengthen the Republicans. The Democrats. would fucking
I'd
destroy
probably move there for fuck's sake. I'd get out of here before that.
What's the province you live in? If you
I'm in Ontario.
Ontario? All right.
Yeah, I'm in Ontario. Sorry, you ever coming to Canada?
I haven't been to Canada yet, but I should go.
I haven't been to Canada either.
It's just America, but cold.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Because
We
I've
have,
got
like,
America but cold here.
We have like 7-month winters.
I don't know why you people put up with that. Why don't you tell Trudeau, right? He's a president. He's won his fancy elections, sort of, kind of. Why don't you tell Trudeau to do something about that and make winter shorter or something?
Well, that requires more global warming, not less.
You would think the pro-global warming lobby would be huge in Canada, though, right?
Yeah, you'd think.
Actually, the Conservatives are a bit more pro-global warming than the norm, yeah.
Like actually pro-global warming.
Well, there's actually a lot of economic benefits coming to Canada right now.
Exactly.
So...
You're rubbing your hands like a conservative.
Look at all this land opening up that we can use now. It's no longer frozen all year round.
Yeah.
Aha! Look at all this oil we found up in the tundra.
Everything's going great for Canada suddenly. Remember the 5th of November, Parliament's treasonous plot. I see no reason why Parliament's treason should ever be forgot. Iceland and the UK have signed a deal on free movement and living after Brexit. What? Icelanders? What? I mean, there are only 300,000 of them, so it's like even if they all in 1 year, it'll just double. Annex England for Torchwood. Cartel Mexico is an ANCAP paradise. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. There'll be someone to take the side of the cartels eventually. Good job, ANCAPs. Breaking. Trump brags about destroying the austere equity activists of MS-13. Misspells abhorrent. Yeah, exactly. No, we shouldn't have annexed Mexico. They can't even govern themselves, and yet somehow we're supposed to govern what Bolivar called an ungovernable people.
It's not about governance. It's about military assistance.
I think he's meaning, like, you might win the war, but how do you win the peace?
Oh, once they're crushed? I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, maybe if every once in a while you have to go back. I mean, is that a price worth paying for potentially stable governments? And that's what they had. That's what the decision is.
Well, there's got to be an understanding that the law has to be more important than a familial bond, right?
Yeah.
Because it does.
Yeah. Like if every new generation needs to send people in so this sort of thing doesn't pop up again, then maybe that's got to be the thing that's done.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, if your brother murders someone in a cartel shooting, do you have a legal obligation to tell the authorities?
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Of course.
I think you've got a moral one as well, because otherwise more people are going to die.
Well, certainly.
Right, so you've got to put the law before your brother, because if you're in a cartel, you're just going to be like, well, no, fuck the law. So it's the culture has to change. And how likely is that? Spawn of Satan. Oh, Baczynski, what? You don't deserve that.
Spawn of Satan? You mean El Diablo.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is out on PC today. Oh, really? I did enjoy watching the videos of, Mexicans getting deported and stuff. Throwing feminists to alligators. This guy got his fucking channel shut down, didn't he? Like, temporarily.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, throwing a feminist to the crocodiles and deporting a Mexican and what were I can't remember the other names of them, but it's just hilarious fucking descriptions. Hi, Rags and Friends. Jebby Nicholson for President 2020.
Jeb for President. You could do it, Jeb.
If Epstein was tied to Trump, ABC would have squealed. Yeah, man, if this was the reverse.
Oh, yeah.
If Epstein was, like, tied to Trump over this and not Bush and Clinton, sorry.
Was Trump in his, like, dossier book thingy?
Well, yeah, he was in his contacts book. They were friends for a while.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, they had a falling out over property. But this was before he was convicted of anything.
Yeah. Like, people, every once in a while I'll hear, like, oh, such and such person was in the book, and I'm like, okay, that who know that
Oh yeah.
that doesn't mean anything necessarily at all.
No. Well, okay, no. The thing that it means is they're probably rich. That's probably what it means.
Yeah.
You know, they're either rich or someone who's a stepping stone to get someone else who is rich. Annex China for the tea and cheap labor. Hi Rags, tell Sargon his Fallout review was great. What? I think you got that.
Yeah, good job on that, by the way. It was really good. Very informative.
Thanks very
I
much.
feel your pain.
It was about 2 hours long. You know, it really took weeks and weeks to do. To Arch, oh sorry man, he's not here. It's not even. Well, do you have novel recommendations for the Custodes? Also, what would you think if instead Primaris we saw a large expansion of Custodes, finally US annexing most of North America would be great. Jesus Christ, there's a lot in that. But hopefully Arch answers that at some point. It's not even illegal anymore to intentionally give someone HIV in California, right? I believe it got downgraded to a misdemeanor.
It got downgraded to a misdemeanor. It's no longer a felony.
Fucking amazing, isn't it? Like, so stunning and brave, man. Like, I just can hardly get over it. CNN breaking news. God Emperor Trump invades Mexico. Mass genocide of non-white people. Who would win in a debate on the Enlightenment/reason? Peterson and Pinker versus Nietzsche and Derrida, sorry. No prep time, all in peak condition, access to caffeine. Man, I have no idea how Nietzsche would have done in a debate. I don't really know about Pinker either. I don't think I've ever seen him debating anything. Nor Derrida.
Yeah, weren't they all more writers than debaters, frankly?
Yeah. I mean, I don't recall. I mean, they might have done public debates. I'm just not aware of any of them. Mexican government officials have been on the cartel payroll for decades. Only way to get wealthy in Mexico is to be cartel affiliated or elite in the monopolies, but they're almost the same thing. Yeah, it's looking like Mexico's a pretty corrupt place. According to Academic Agent, the British is becoming a liberal libertine degenerate. It's really weird. Oh, well, honestly, though, I know Academic Agent might be right on this regard. Like Britishers, like this stems from Paul Joseph Watson's "This is why the terrorists hate us," right? Which is some woman who was serving beer with her ass, like holding the glass between her ass cheeks and then pouring beer with it and then giving it to someone, right? It's really silly because, I mean, like, technically in a way he's not wrong. But it's just such a silly example. So British is like, actually, I think that's great. And then Academic Agent taking the Paul Joseph Watson reading of it is like, you're a degenerate. And British is kind of like leaning into it as far as I last saw.
Sure. If a woman wants to serve me beer with those ass cheeks, man, I don't care what that makes me.
But I think we can agree that it's not necessarily a positive.
I mean, if it's, I mean, it's a strange thing, and that's what gives it its, I guess, its appeal, that it's really odd and silly on its face.
Yeah.
It's not something that you'd want all the time. It's just like a weird
it's the
thing.
Exception and not the rule.
Yeah.
I feel like, I feel like Rags and It's a Gundam, who are both YouTubers, could be brothers in real life. Also, Rags, you will always be a dreamy doggo. Hi from FA.
Oh, hello.
Hey Mauler, hey Rags, Sargon, Archie, Fat Wen.
Hey.
There's a list, I hear.
Yeah, we're getting there, I promise.
Mexico gains good portion of their cash flow from cartels. Destroy 1/3 of or half of their economy by getting rid of them. So Mexico won't allow it without a fight. Fuck, that's another good point. Do you watch Caspian Report? I don't watch anything these days, to be honest. Because I need to catch up on everything because I've been traveling a lot. So, like, I've not caught up with any YouTube channels at all. It's really frustrating. Ironically, I watch more It's a Gundam videos than most. So he just goes on about whatever it is, and it's like funny. Hey Rex, have you heard that Death Stranding is about Trump and Brexit? Build bridges, not walls, you guys.
He talked about like how we need to be united and stuff, and I think that was misconstrued a bit into Trump and Brexit by the people doing the interview or something. I need to read through the article fully.
I've read it. I read it yesterday, but I've read it, and no, Kojima actually did mention Trump and Brexit, but here's a little bit of a spoiler alert for you. Death Stranding takes place in a post-apocalyptic United States where the population count is massively low, and you play as a courier. You're just delivering stuff between settlements, and so the whole point of the game is like rebuilding the nation and unity. So it is a game about unity, and he did mention that he made it because of Trump and Brexit, but it's not the same situation.
It's not like Trump's bad, Brexit's bad necessarily. It's just there's political divide, and it should be about unity.
Yes.
Well, I can see why they took it the way they did and labeled it the way they did.
Yeah. Here's the quote. This is what Kojima himself said. President Trump right now is building a wall. Then you have Brexit, where the UK is trying to leave. There are lots of walls, and people are thinking only about themselves. So he wanted a game that, I guess, brings people together in the storyline. So
yeah, well, Kojima, I'm sure you don't lock your door at night, and you're an example for the rest of us to follow. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Always messages from unity. Those who live in gated communities.
Is any of the DLC for this game worth getting? Also, if you're looking for Lebensraum and resources, Australia is somewhat tolerable this time of year. Hi, Wags and
hello,
Morsey. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're $5 for like defensive units and some other stuff. I'm happy to pay for it because it wasn't expensive. It's something, isn't it? Right, this is the most ambitious crossover. No, there have been more. There have been more ambitious ones. Like there might be more interesting ones in the future as well. But this is a good one. Every frame a scrub dump. Hey, that's a good name for it, actually. I can't believe you, Dev. I can't believe you didn't just call it dumping without scrump.
I wanted to keep the alliteration.
It just rolls off the tongue though. EFAP, Scrump, Dev, and Sargon, all my favorite internet people in one place. Thanks for all the content, guys. Oh, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thoughts on drone striking the cartels? Probably not.
If we get permission from the Mexican government and they want it to happen, and then if we've got verified targets, then yeah, fucking light them up.
Well, it sounds like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it might not. But that would be one of the things, that would be reasonable. The cartels probably can't do anything about drones. And if, Mexico needs, if we work with them, they give us intel, we get locations, there's no risk of, human life that's worth losing, then yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah, I don't morally object to drone striking.
Actual
like
Pakistani weddings are one thing, but yeah.
Well, even then, there is actually, I'm sure I can think of arguments as to why drone striking might actually be something we want to question. Because
I see people's contention with it, absolutely. But with targets like these, I think it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, it's not like some terrible thing that they've done. It's drone striking people who don't deserve it is the problem.
Here's how you solve the problem, okay?
Free Taco Tuesday.
About 20 nukes along the Mexican border, and then salt the earth with radioactive cobalt.
A radiation zone.
Yes. Create a radiation belt that no one could even survive walking through. And then the problem will be, you won't even need a wall.
Good solution.
That was unironically General Patton's solution to the Korean War. He proposed it. He wanted to basically nuke the border between Korea and China to prevent communists from coming through, and he wanted to put radioactive cobalt in the earth.
Based on red pilled. Has anyone noticed during the Red Scare the Russians were the bad guys in the media? However, now the big bad China. China is our ally, misunderstood in every game with Russian enemy. I have not personally noticed this.
Well, a lot of these like first-person shooters coming out, like the the Call of Duties or whatever, they put Russia as the bad guy because they want to release it in China, even though China's obviously the bad guy right now in real life. So like, we can't. You can't release the game in China if China's your enemy in the game.
Even though in Battlefield 4, China were the baddies.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. China were the baddies in Battlefield 4.
Did it come out in China?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Probably not.
There were 3 factions. There was the U.S., Russia, and China. Or it was like U.S. or U.S./NATO. I think it was just U.S., Russia, China.
Okay. Historically speaking, are the Irish Anglos or Europeans? Honestly, they're pretty Anglo. I've been over to Ireland, and they seem Anglo to me. Has anyone noticed that during the Red Scare, the Russians... Oh, no, I just read that. Sorry. All the countries of the world belong to America. We will deport you all.
Deport to space.
Yeah, no, just deport back to where they came from. Who knows? Fun fact: Mexican soap operas rely on people being associated in cartels for drama. Just fact of everyday life, isn't it? Trump is going to send Pedro Delgado, Mitt Romney, as an undercover secret agent inside the Mexican cartel bases. Excellent. Have I tried hibiscus tea? It's great hot or iced. No, I have not. I don't think. When do you violate the verbal morality statutes? I desperately try not to anymore because YouTube punishes me. Soup is cooked. Cereal is not cooked. Oof.
Soup is cooked.
Yeah,
I guess in a way. I mean, you have like gazpacho and stuff, which is served cold, and
but you still got to cook it first, haven't you?
Temperature isn't a determinant for whether it's soup or not. I think it's makeup of the ingredients.
It's whether it's cooked, so you heat it up. It doesn't have to be served hot, but you've got to cook it. You don't cook cereal and you just mix it up.
Yeah, like ingredient, like meats and veggies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but then if you apply fire to it at any point, it's cooked. But yeah, so yeah, cereal is to soup what salad is to stew. Yeah, it's more like salad.
Kind of. What is to salad?
Cereal is to salad, rather than cereal being a soup. It's salad.
It's not. I wouldn't say salad. No.
Like not necessarily it is, but like, that it's taking two things and mixing them together.
Because you could cook a salad. You can cook salad.
Can you?
You can, yeah. Yeah. When I worked in a restaurant, one of our salads was grilled.
You just grill the lettuce?
Yeah, just a little bit. But that is actually something that we do. It's not very common, but it's definitely something that you could do.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
It's probably not very common because it's dumb, but it's it's a thing.
Have you seen the Spencer rant from Greta? No. Are we saying that Greta had a Richard Spencer-esque rant?
I'm going to have to look this up.
Yeah, that would be legitimately hilarious. I love the Greta memes. How dare you? I love that. You stolen my childhood. It's like it's such a funny reaction shot. Yeah, we're all gonna die, global warming. Yeah, but that is funny.
How dare you?
Are Hong Kong protesters treasonous to China? I thought yes, if you're Chinese.
But Chinese people believe that people in Hong Kong are Chinese, and sometimes the people in Hong Kong don't think they are.
Yeah.
So who's right?
Well, it depends who you are.
By default, I'm happy with China by default not being correct.
Yeah. No, unironically. Sorry, China. The protests are in the right
Yeah.
because they're not communists. You're choosing a side? Yes, I am. Apparently, you can't stay fucking neutral on a moving train and whatnot. I'm on the.
I hate that.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna pick a side, I'm choosing the anti-Chinese fascist state because that's what it fucking.
You have to
is,
be
man.
pretty bad to be worse than China.
Like they're forcibly marrying Chinese men to Uyghur women, like as a part of a sort of cultural genocide, like literally breeding them out of existence. Like this is Sinization, as Crowd put in his video the other day. Like you can actually see it happening. It's like,
Have you seen some of the videos of it?
yeah. I've like seen some and read a bunch of accounts from people who've been escaping the camps. and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's wild.
Yeah, it's just happening. And everyone's
I heard an article today where whenever they put one of the Muslim men away in a camp for a few years, the Chinese government recognizes that there's now a vacancy in the Muslim woman's house, so they move in a Chinese man.
Yeah.
Since he's like a migrant worker in the area and he has to work whatever they're doing up there. So, well, you can just stay in this person's house. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
And you're not going to end up with Chinese babies at all.
Exactly. It's part of a deliberate ethnic cleansing policy, and nobody gives a shit. Burma fucking cleared the Muslims out off back to Bengal, and everyone's like, "Oh no, how terrible!" and nothing happens.
Well, it's because the Chinese people are also brown, so
I
you
don't
can't
think-
criticize them without being racist, I guess.
I think it's because the Chinese just don't care. Like they're just too big for us to attack.
Are they too big to fail?
Not too big to fail, but too big to like attack on issues of morality.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing, honestly.
Yeah, 'cause, I mean, it'd be
I mean,
a big
we-
effort.
We fought Germany, but we can't fight China. It's kind of a
Well,
sad
Germany
state.
invaded somewhere.
Yeah, but China's invading people and just saying that they were always there. So, and that
China's
was
got
Well, who are
lots
they actually invading?
Tibet.
That was ages.
They did it. That was like 20 years ago, whatever it was. But no, it was longer than 20 years ago. Yeah, but nonetheless, still. I mean, there's still like a Tibetan government in exile.
Yeah, I know.
I can't find any new rant from Greta Thunberg.
Oh, what good
well.
is she?
Yeah. Why is anyone even paying attention to her? Honestly.
I did find an article stating that she was stranded in the USA because she can't find a climate neutral go to Spain for
Can't
Yeah.
find a what?
There was a post on Facebook where it's like, I'm wandering through the desert. I hope I can find some transport. It's like, she obviously is not like, suffering through this desert. She looks just fine.
Yeah, she's clearly got Wi-Fi.
But what this is, she looks, obviously good and healthy. Well, this is, she's like expecting like a helicopter ride or a fucking private jet or something. That's what it sounds like. Like, it looks like a virtue signal to billionaires. Say, hey, look, get your name associated with Greta by lending her your yacht so she can travel across the ocean and stuff like this. Like, where the fuck else is she going to get these fucking yachts and planes and shit right? Like, it's so cringe.
Okay, I've got it. Sargon, are you set up to play video?
I mean, we can play the audio. You guys won't be able to hear it, but like,
Okay, here I'll put it in the stream chat, and I'll give it to you
the
here.
chat will be able to hear it, but you guys in here with me won't be able to hear it.
Okay, well, here it is.
What's your message
Another
to world
inspiring
leaders today?
speech by Greta.
We are coming back here like a fucking 100 times. I am so mad. I am so fucking mad at these people. They don't do this to fucking me. We're gonna fucking ritualistically humiliate them. I am coming back here every fucking weekend if I have to. Like this is never over. I win, they fucking lose. That's how the world fucking works. Little fucking kikes. They get ruled by people like me. Little fucking octoroons. My ancestors fucking enslaved those pieces of fucking shit. I rule the fucking world. Those pieces of shit get ruled by people like me. They look up and see a face like mine looking down at them.
How dare you!
On the video, it's zooming in and out on her face. Face like mine is.
I must admit, this is funny.
We are gonna destroy this fucking town.
Oh, that was awesome. That's such a great meme. I love it. Like I love how everything's adding up with memes, man. Isn't like proper narratives are being woven. It's such great fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Richard Spencer's done now after that. There's no
like,
way.
Like I said, Richard, the only way out of this is that you double down on all of it, mate.
Yeah, I think you've abandoned the enlightened centrist position. I think you might have got a little bit too far this time. Get what you can. Squeeze all the blood out of that stone.
Sagan, did you see Kraut's video on China? Pretty G. Yeah, it was a great video, man. Very eye-opening. That's why the Sinization, or however it's pronounced, is something I noticed with the the marrying the men thing. It's like not just a cruel thing to do, but man, it's part of the whole policy. But no, it's really good. I don't agree with his assessment on Trump necessarily. I think Trump's got a totemic quality that's important right now. I think it is about like the grand narrative of civilization, and effectively, son of a bitch, destroy my city. Effectively, they're saying that when they say that Europeans have no culture, what they're saying is Europeans don't exist because they can't categorize the world in terms of culture. So essentially, they want that to just disappear. And that's obvious nonsense. And that's why so many of them are like, oh, the English don't exist as an ethnic group, or the Germans don't exist as an ethnic group. It's like, the thing you're saying, the Germans, that is what we call people who speak German and are like descended from older generations of Germans and identify as Germans. Like, you can't just say that doesn't exist. It's fucking nuts. Anyway,
well, I think it's because the American point of view is that as soon as all of these various European ethnicities came over, they just kind of intermingled and intermarried, and it kind of became meaningless. So it became all about race, in a sense, in the States. So there's white people and black people. There's not like German people or anything like that.
Yeah, but even then, like the white people have no culture is based on a really reductionist reading of what's being said. The term white not actually having any meaning in Europe means that it doesn't have a cultural backing to it. It's just generic European, so it's nothing, That's technically what they're trying to say. But it's such a fucking cop-out because everything people do is part of a culture, and you can pinpoint loads of stuff throughout the history of like America, all the ties, like the enchantment with ancient Rome that was going around at the time it was founded, the intellectual enchantment with it, which is all being rediscovered, this is all part of the culture.
But I do think that this logic is why a lot of Americans view Nazism as a white problem and not a German problem. Because
I agree
because in the United States there is really no difference between British people, French people, German people. They all just kind of, because when they came to the States, they all just intermarried, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, white people are Caucasian. They're all Caucasian. There's nothing else. It's just white people are just all Caucasian. That's all there is, right? They're all the same.
Very complicated place, Europe.
Oh yeah, it's very, very simple. That's why they've got along historically really well. I guess it's because they just compare it to like South America and Mexico, or they compare it to Africa or China or the the Far East and stuff like that. They're like, oh, Europe's all just one thing. They're all white.
Yeah. Basically, colonist mindset. That's what they've got.
I mean, how long does it take for people to realize that China and Japan are completely different?
I mean, I think you're kind of hitting on something with the whole colonist mindset, because I think that was actually quite useful when trying to establish a nation in such a large area as the United States, where it was like, listen, don't bring all of the old European problems here. It doesn't matter where you came from. We're all just going to be Americans now, and that kind of helped them, I think, in the beginning.
Yeah. But the idea, the problem with that narrative of it is that the idea of American seems to spring from nothing. Because you're trying to say we're not Europeans, we're something else. It's like, okay, well, what's the something else? How are you defining it? Where did you get that from? And then it inextricably ties back to Europe. So there's not really a connection you can break.
I mean, I'm not saying that it makes sense. I just think that's how a lot of Americans feel about it.
I wasn't trying to be like overly critical, but I've been thinking about this a lot, because I think that the radical left rely on that for anything that they're doing to be effective. Like these kind of identity attacks, I think they're made valid because of that. So yeah, it's fucking. It's weird and evil thing to do though, to attack someone's identity. It's a weird fucking thing.
Like, yeah, it's not substantive. There's nothing behind it. I mean, you didn't have a choice in it. I didn't choose where I came from, what I am. I can influence who I am, but all that other stuff, like, I don't know. It's genetic lottery.
Do you even choose your own interests? You know?
Probably not. I think that interests are just like sexual preferences and beliefs. They're not things that we choose. They can be influenced by the things around us, certainly. And we can guide ourselves towards certain things by choosing to be around certain things. But ultimately, whether or not it really becomes an interest of ours, a passion, a belief, a principle, not necessarily always a choice. But I think that we can be convinced about a lot of things. I mean, beliefs and acceptance of a proposition. So when it comes to your political ideology or what you think about social stuff, I mean, there's always a reason for everything, whether it's a good reason and what hand you had it specifically in those things. It'll vary from person to person, and you are all products of our environments to some degree.
Yeah, I do think that there's definitely some kind of capability for people to choose their own interests just by forcing it for a while. But I mean, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. You know, there's definitely acquired tastes. You know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, is a good example. D&D, you don't know anything about it, and if someone asks you if you want to play it and you don't know anything about it, yeah, you could choose to play it or not, and there are going to be repercussions of being around it, and then you can start liking it because of that and everything. But a lot of stuff, I don't know. I think that's why I've always been. I know that it's one of the reasons that the left hate people like you and me, really all of us, is that I see a Nazi alt-righter and I'm like, man, something made you this way, and I don't want you to be that way anymore. I'm not gonna. I don't think you're necessarily evil. Like, something obviously influenced you. You're convinced for a reason. People believe things for a reason. I want to know what those reasons are, and I want to change your mind. But just calling them evil is oftentimes a gross oversimplification.
There is an argument, like, they're the victims of the essentially of society, that's led them to this. But then Richard Spencer's rants about re-enslaving people go public, and like,
there's always the question of how far can someone go before you just have to,
That's pretty damaging stuff,
Well, yeah, I mean, at what point do you just accept that your 89-year-old grandpa is kind of a bit racist, and you're just going to have to accept that?
Yeah, but this isn't just a bit racist, is it? This is like some
it's
ritualistically humiliating racism.
Yeah, it's just
like,
an example
this is really
of
deep
how
stuff.
far people can go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy, It's like what sort of person says this? But anyway, helicopter ride for Greta, Sargon 2019. I didn't say that. Sorry.
Actually, you did say that.
Well, no,
What'd you
yeah,
say?
but not the meme of the helicopter ride. But I mean, she has had like helicopter rides and stuff like that. And she, I don't know, like various alternative modes of transport that aren't like trains and planes and cars. Because everyone goes on those. So it's like,
Have you ever been on a helicopter before?
no.
I haven't.
I have only once, and it was quite.
How
interesting.
was it?
I was very young, and it was because we were transporting my sister to a hospital, and she had to get there really quickly, and it was over like a large stretch of area. So they brought the hospital helicopter. It was a fun ride.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't feel safe.
I would be willing to give it. I'd go if someone was like, "Hey, you want to take a helicopter ride?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah!" I think I'm a thrill seeker.
I recently found out there is a buried city under Manchester, large series of tunnels. Was curious if you knew anything about its history or lore. No, not anything like that.
Are they asking
Buried
if this was
tunnels.
your doing?
No,
Did you do this?
No, it's things, they would have been there for a while, I imagine. What would happen if China struck San Francisco with a nuclear missile?
It would be war, obviously.
Fallout.
Also, goodbye to Beijing. Chinese aren't that. They're evil. They're not stupid.
Quote me.
Quote me. China's evil, not stupid. Fucking put it on my tombstone.
Yeah.
Fuck China.
Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
China's doing enough terrible stuff that they don't want to really be interfered with while they're doing their terrible stuff. So they're not going to provoke any kind of crazy war.
Yeah, China needs the West. I mean, from an economic sense.
But they're just slowly expanding, like just a legitimate creep. Like
Oh, yeah.
Chinese influence.
Little at a time.
At the same time, we could always thank them for nuking San Francisco.
Yeah. Stop the spread of the plague.
I tell you what, man. When I was in San Francisco and there was the earthquake going on, I was legit terrified.
Earthquake stuff?
Oh yeah,
Huh.
you can see it in people's faces as well. Like we're out at fucking dinner, and it starts shaking, and everyone's just like nervously looking at one another. It's like, oh shit, man, this is fucking scary.
Is this the one where the whole city falls apart?
Yeah, that's the thought on everyone's mind.
Yeah, apparently Japan gets a lot of earthquakes too, but they don't seem to be too worried about it.
Anyway, YouTube Greta Onketa. God.
Greta on ketamine?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the kids and their drugs.
Keto.
Yeah, I have no idea what ketamine does.
Yeah, I don't know if you eat it or drink it or put it in your veins or if it's a powder you snort. I don't know anything. Or it's a pill.
I think it makes you makes you hyperactive. But in my place,
Yeah.
it's copyrighted, so I'm not gonna play it.
Meanwhile, Richard Spencer sounded like he was on cocaine or something.
Yes,
That-
certainly
that's-
passionate.
Yeah, that sounded drug fueled. That thingy.
Well, I mean, is that in his favor? Like, is that good or a bad thing? Is that a mitigating circumstance? Like, I don't know. I could make the argument that he was a totally sober man, because it'll just be speculation. So,
Sorry, you cut out there.
I could just make the case that he was a sober man because it'll be speculation. Krauts is correct.
He was
China's-
having an epic gamer moment.
Yeah, right. He was having a PewDiePie. He's like, yeah, we have been there, bro.
I was like, yeah, man, I've been there.
Yeah. But just,
Oh, man,
like I
I-
said, Richard, lean into it.
I want to see a meme now where it's like the two guys that are being hanged and one of them's Spencer, and then he looks over and it's PewDiePie first time.
First time.
Yeah, China is stealing our tech. the only thing they got over the USA is population and willingness to be barbaric. Yeah, but they're quite powerful weapons. That's the problem.
Yeah, their
Like,
willingness to be vicious is that's something.
Like, unironically, that's not good. Enslaving your population to own the Yanks. That's
We
what it
sure
is.
showed them.
Yeah, checkmate, Yankees. All right, I think I'm just going to refresh it. I think I've done, and I think I'll end the stream. It's coming on midnight, and I'm a tired boy.
I was about to leave, in fact, because I have a few friends over, and we're about to stream Catherine. So everyone, come watch me instead. Haha.
Yeah, go. Where can they find you, man?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat room.
Just like short, fat, little Game Boomers, is it?
Yeah, my gaming channel's on Twitch, twitch.tv/GameBoomers. I'm going to start the stream in about 5 minutes or so.
Cutting it close.
Yeah, I know.
Right, okay. Well, so yeah, thank you for joining us, everyone. It was fun.
Yeah.
Interesting, just chit-chat about shit that's going down and piss take. Yeah, and we'll see you later.
Oh, wait, don't end it yet. One last question.
Back.
Go.
When's Demolition Man?
Soon.
It's coming, guys.
Should be before Christmas. I'm confident.
Awesome.
It's I've just been really busy, like interviews and stuff, and yeah. So, but yeah, it is coming, and I'm working on it. I've finished the scripts, and I've commissioned some artwork for it. Yes, so it'll be nice, fancy artwork in it as well. So yeah, it's you've got to build a video like this. It's a construction project, but it's always worth it in the end. So, right. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everyone. I'll see you all later.
Bye-bye.